And now, holy shit, folks.
I always remind people, I am suspended for life for minor hockey.
It's my duty to please the booty.
Did you catch a rattlesnake and then drive home with it in your car holding it the whole time?
Yep.
Phil only drinks Coke. He doesn't drink water. I'll fucking quit.
Fugazis.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 421 of Spittin Chiclets, presented by Pink Whitney, from our friends at New Amsterdam Vodka, here in the Barstool Sports podcast family. Happy holidays to the Chiclets fam. Hopefully everybody had a great Christmas, getting some R&R in. We got a nice episode for you today. We're going to bounce around, have some fun, have some laughs. Let's go to our buddy Merles first, joining us from across the pond. I don't know how to say Merry Christmas in Swedish, but what's up, Merles? What's new, pal?
Well, I'm not across the pond. I'm back home. Home. My hometown, Troy, New York. I'm down in the basement at my parents' house where I grew up, and just been having a great time here. We flew back immediately, went up to Lake Placid, New York for a youth hockey tournament. That city's amazing. I'd never been up there drinking or partying. What a time. If you can get up there during the winter. There's tons of stuff for kids.
Merles, potential at some point, maybe pond hockey and or ball hockey tournament location. So
we want to do a Chiclets Cup there bad. Wow. Real bad. I was thinking that would be a perfect spot.
Nice.
Any good golf courses in the Lake Placid area? What about summertime, Mer?
Yeah, there's great ones. I actually ran into Donnie Del Negro up there, the old trainer for the Boston Bruins. So we went out with him for a couple beers, and he's up there. He's golfing every day in the summer. He's retired now, and he has guys coming up there to golf all the time with him. And I was on him hard to get an interview for the Chiclets here for us.
Holy shit, that sounds like a name.
Merles is buzzing.
Straight out of the Sopranos, Donnie Del Negro.
Yeah, North Adams, Mass. He's from the town I went to college in.
Jesus Christ, that's a perfect name I've ever heard.
All right, next
Donnie
up.
Del Negro. Hey, Donnie. Oh, yeah, I know Donnie Del Negro.
He was there for like over 30 years, right?
Yeah, 29 years, I think it was.
Yeah, long time he was there.
Donnie Del Negro.
Next up, producer Mikey Grinelli. What's going on, my man? How you been?
What's up, fellas? Happy holidays to all you guys. I'm very happy to be headed back to Boston right when we finish this pod. Really been missing my friends and family a lot lately, so can't wait to get home. May even go skiing for a day or two up at Loon. So very excited for that, but most excited for the Winter Classic and to see you boys again.
Hey, G, if you run into my buddy Donnie Del Negro, tell him I said what's up.
Oh, shit.
I'm going to say Donnie Del Negro 1,300 times in this podcast, just for everybody listening, just so you know and have the heads up. You could stop listening now. It's your choice.
There he is, the man, the myth, the legend, Paul Biz Nasty Bissonette, coming to us from Welland, Ontario, right? My and Dad's place.
It's the holiday season.
Look at that tree, man. You would never make a room look that nice. You know that's your mama doing that.
My mother, Yolande Bissonette, she is a queen. She's a queen. You know how they got the beehive for Beyonce? She's got her Welland clan, the Yolis. But yeah, no, she crushes Christmas. Hey, there's actually at the end of the pod, maybe I'll give it a little cruise downstairs. She has a setup like this downstairs too. So she does the upstairs, downstairs whammy. She loves to decorate. She brought out the Santa Claus. She decorates the outside of the house as well. So I'm really happy to be back home with the fam. We did gifts for my niece and nephew. My sister's got twins, and my mom does like the little scavenger Santa Claus hunt where she'll like read off the clues and they got to go find the presents. So at the end of it, I ended up surprising them with a trip to Ottawa. So Paul, my sister's husband, he's a big Ottawa Senators fan. So I think he's brainwashed the kids to being Ottawa Senators
he's ruining
fans.
Your nieces and nephews, biz.
I mean, maybe, I don't know, man. If Ryan Reynolds comes on board, they get the new arena approved.
Very true.
Like,
Very true.
Things
could be changing.
He could be setting them up for like a you guys' success in Boston, all those championships, all those years. So I got them. There's a game, I believe, in February against the Oilers. I got them tickets to that. The travel taken care of, hotels, meals, and then put a little extra cash in the stocking stuffer for the niece and nephew. So overall, a great Christmas event with the family. I was actually supposed to fly out of here on I guess the day the pod's dropping, or no, that we're recording a little bit early actually on Christmas Eve. But there's like a blizzard / snowstorm, whatever you want to call it, in the southern Ontario / northern New York what do you call Rochester, Buffalo area? Northern New York?
Western New York.
Western.
New York.
Oh, the complete opposite. Weird.
Yeah, like the Avalanche are a Southern team.
Yeah. Geography's not my thing. So I'm actually heading to Cabo after this for 3 or 4 days rest. And going to recharge before a really, really big New Year for the boys and Donnie Del Negro.
Yeah, we'll get to that shortly. Next up, and finally, the last one on the crew, the Wit Dog, Ryan Whitney. What's going on, my man? All set for Christmas. So we should, like Biz just said, we actually are recording Friday before Christmas, so we're gonna have a little Christmas chatter coming. But staying home, right, Whit?
Yep, all prepared. I actually remember being younger, and when you realize, like, for the first time, how late your parents stayed up on Christmas Eve. So, families get together, there's big dinners, there's drinks. And then as a kid, you don't realize till a little later on, like, oh my God, then my parents were up doing all of this tonight, right? So the kids come bombing in at 5:30 in the morning. Well, the parents have been setting the friggin' thing up till 3:30. So when that started hitting me last year, I was like, this is a disaster. So what I did this year is we set aside a day. It was earlier this week to do all of the Christmas Eve stuff. So now when we go to my in-laws' house and we have drinks and a great time and exchange gifts with the huge family that was over here for Thanksgiving, we come home, maybe throw a movie on, maybe get a little Christmas magic going. You know what I'm saying, fellas? And I don't have to set up the whole room. And I don't have to worry about, getting these gifts out and putting things together. I'm already done. So I'm very excited for Christmas. It's great. Ryder's super into it now. This elf on a shelf thing, one of the all-time biggest scams in human history. Just an absolute disgrace.
What the fuck is elf on a shelf?
Elf on a shelf is a crime the levels of Enron and FTX and some of these people, they don't even know. This book or whatever was written about this little elf, and he comes to your house before Christmas, but every night he leaves, and then you have to set him up in a new spot because he flew back to the North Pole and told Santa how you were, but then he's not going to be in the same spot. So every night it's up to the parents to make sure that they remember to move Elfie around. I think ours was originally named Keith. He's now Chippy. But, there's been times at 1 a.m, you wake up dead panic. I haven't moved Elfie. So it's just one of those things that they've probably made billions of dollars and basically they've probably caused like divorces and shit too. The dad 3 nights in a row doesn't move it. It's just, it's a scam, but the kids love it. And then they wake up screaming, he's in the tree, Dad. He's in the Christmas tree. What?
Okay. So when I was a kid, or at least when I was coming up, there were a couple crazes certain years. I would say the biggest craze for a particular gift was the Tickle Me Elmo doll. Do you remember when
Tickle Me Elmo was nuts?
People were murdering each other more than they were for Jordans over these fucking things. What is like the gift for kids nowadays that people are going crazy for? Is there not really a standout?
I don't know if I like Ryder doesn't even, I'm like, what do you want for Christmas? He's like, I don't know. I'm like, okay, dude, and then finally he said a couple of things. I don't even know if older there is a toy for like, I don't know, 10, 11-year-olds. They just want video games and cell phones. That's all I hear kids that are old enough say, I want a cell phone. I want a cell phone. I have a friend who's actually surprising his kids. They've been begging for a dog, and he's having the dog delivered Christmas morning. So that's pretty sick. Like that's one the kids will never forget. So yeah, we're just hanging. I mean, I'm really excited for the live show. So it's just such a chill week right now. Usually we try going away a little bit. There's a bomb cyclone here. I believe it's a bomb cyclone, Biz. Although there's no snow, it's just windy as shit. What up, G?
I was going to mention we haven't actually announced this yet, but Podcast Jesus will be emceeing the live show.
Well,
so for people who aren't aware, Kirk Minihane. Biz, what do you know about Kirk?
Well, I thought before RA was going to tee up all the live show stuff, and we were kind of getting into the Christmas chatter. I want to know what RA, when you were a kid coming up, what was your most memorable Christmas gift? What was the one thing as a kid where you look back and you're like, that was the Christmas morning I remember, and that's what I pulled from underneath the couch, or like the last gift that your parents surprised you with?
I'll tell you, it was late 70s. It was Atari, the original Atari 2600. Because what was crazy is I'd never heard of it. Me and my brother had no idea what it was. It was real new. My stepfather, he was very much an early adopter. He always got new technology. He got it. We never even heard of it. So we had a brand new video game. We were like 6, 7 years old, and state of the art at the time. So Atari 2600. It was so old. It was only known as Atari back then. That was probably the most memorable gift. And then any year I got Star Wars toys too. I was always a big thrill. So go on that same vein. My brother.
Hey, so Atari for the younger generation, is it the one that's the assemble of Tetris and a few other games?
No, it's like Pong. Was it Pong originally?
Yeah, Pong. Ding,
Pong.
ding.
And Combat was the game they gave you with the console. When you bought Atari, they gave you Combat. Like very generic, like old school, like not like name stuff. You watch like the hockey on it, basketball is very like, rudimentary, but it was state of the art at the time. Again, it was the late 70s. It was like the first like home video game that like really fucking took off and exploded.
That was the beginning of the end. That was the original video game that now since has like
Then it went
basically
Nintendo.
AI realistic shootings and shit. It all started with
Nintendo
Pong
for
on
us,
Atari.
then Sega Genesis, then Nintendo 64, then PlayStation 2, and it just kept going.
Yeah,
I remember getting Nintendo games and being very fired up. But I had Sega too at one point. So it basically, though, could just kill so much time. I constantly remember being like, shut down the video games. That's all I ever heard. Turn off the video games.
Duck Hunter, all of it.
But wait, are you old enough to remember the craze that Cabbage Patch Kids were back in the 80s? Merle's you?
I was just going to bring that up. And it was one of my most memorable ones. You'll love this one, Biz and Wit. It was a Wayne Gretzky Oilers uniform he was dressed in. I don't think it was patented by Gretzky or whatever, but it was an Oilers jersey, pants, 99. My mom must have spent hours combing through Toys R Us looking for this thing. But that I'll always remember that guy.
Damn, Wayno had a Cabbage Patch doll.
That would probably be worth a little bit of dough now, Murph.
Oh, yeah, I was checking in the attic here last week, and it's gone. She gone.
Oh, there used to be riots and shit.
Yeah.
Foot through the drywall just looking for this fucking doll so he could chuck it up on eBay to make a few mortgage payments.
Oh, that was insane. One year, Biz, like it was one of the years they were a huge craze, and like my little sister and all my little girl cousins got them. So there was like 10 fucking Cabbage Patch Kids. Of course, they all brought them. My aunt and uncle used to have a big party. So me and my uncle, when everyone was eating, me and my uncle kidnapped all the Cabbage Patch dolls and like hid them in the house, like left a ransom note. These girls were they were screaming bloody murder, crying. They were like 8 and 9 years old. It was fucking hilarious. It's like one of the legendary stories. Then my uncle's like, you snitched on me. Because like, basically I was going to get in trouble. I was like 10. I was like, all right, they're here. Me and Mitchell took him. He's like, you fucking rat. He was like, mad. He's like, what if we really did something? You're fucking snitching on me. I was like, buddy, I ain't getting fucking punished over Cabbage.
That's the most RA story I've ever heard. His uncle giving him a hard time for snitching on Christmas for hiding the Cabbage Patch dolls. Fucking Donnie Del fucking Negro. Did he have a Cabbage Patch doll?
RA actually had an old Cabbage Patch doll that was smoking a 3-foot bong. So it was like it was pretty cool. He lost that though. That was at the old house. Merles, I have to ask you, how was travel across the pond with Lily? Was she good on the plane or disaster?
This was a real act I pulled this time. Somehow when we booked our flights, my wife and Lily ended up in the SAS Plus, so it's just a little bit bigger seats and nicer seats. And I was back in the pigeon class, and let it go. Like, oh, when we get there, they'll just put us together. Like they can't split up a family, they got to just move me up or just move you back. Nope, full flight when we get there. So I ended up in the back alone, and she's there with the kid. Kid's going nuts for 8 hours.
What a win for Merle.
Oh, huge win. I'm going up every couple hours, like pretending, and then they would kick me out. They're like, hey, sir, you got to go back to your pigeon class. And it was quite the show. But my wife's a rock star. She got her here, and it's amazing. My kid is done. We figured it out. She's done 12 trips now, like over and back already. She's 2.5 years old. I don't know if that's even
crazy.
healthy.
She doesn't even know what time it is.
No.
When is the next check the game notes?
Check the game notes. We're not sure on that. We'll probably
Chiclets game notes, by the way.
Chiclets game notes somewhere around the Winter Classic. We'll all be there, so I don't know how we'll work on that, but
I believe it's dropping January 12th. January 12th will be the date that the next Chiclets game notes comes out.
And
yeah, because the next podcast, boys, we're all going to be together in Boston, and that'll be after the live show. and also after the Winter Classic, which we got a pretty jammed up schedule, boys, and I'm looking forward to seeing all you. And finally, RA. I mean, we've had a couple live shows beforehand, but with the setup
they
we
didn't
have
really
now,
count.
yeah, okay. So those were like the exhibition games before the real games start. But RA, hometown, Wilbur Theater, that's going to be a fucking intro, baby.
I'm giddy, man. I can't fucking wait. I got a good crew of buddies, family coming over. It's gonna be absolutely fucking insane, man. I'm so fucking fired up for it. I can't wait, dude. Like, I mean, last time I went to Wilbur Theater, I think I saw the White Stripes there. Now we're gonna be on that same stage, so I'm pretty fucking fired up. Needless to say.
Love it.
And guys, I was gonna say, like I said before, we have Podcast Jesus, aka Kirk Minihane, emceeing the entire event for us. So Minahane's a legend in Boston, and he's gonna run the show for us. So it's gonna be a fun time with him.
Whit, you asked me what I know about Minihane. Like, I just know that like he can turn anything into entertainment. I don't listen to a lot of podcasts, if any. I don't even listen to our own. I can't stand the sound of my own voice. But he's just a genius at what he does. And Barstool is probably the perfect platform for him because they seem to just let him run with whatever he's doing. And he's branched off not only into doing what like he does from a normal podcast perspective, he's went off into doing like murder mystery podcasts where he's in fact solved one of them at one point. And then now he's in the midst of doing his second one. So I don't know a ton about him. I know that you guys have a great rapport and you guys go at each other much like Portnoy and you go at it, but he's a full-blown comedian.
Yeah, he's out of his mind. He's very. You're right. You worded that perfect. He can kind of make anything out of anything, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So
Yes.
He'll just make the drama out of anything that he hears and listens to. He's just thinking right away how he can just chirp somebody. So he'll be torturing us. It'll be great. We'll have to give it back to him. He mentioned on his show that he could end up just turning it into a monologue all on his own. 45 minutes. He's going to name his 100 favorite hockey players. I think he said number 62, Mike Bossy. So yeah, he's great. And I remember I first heard him when he was on this old show, Boston Radio. RA was EEI, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Him and this guy, Jerry Callahan, this old crusty bastard. Oh. And so I was like, this guy's hilarious. Yeah, he's really funny, like always chirping the producers, chirping everyone, really quick-witted. And then, come to find out that all ended in disaster, basically. He got fucked over. And since in Barstool, he keeps getting bigger and bigger. So the side hustle, the case now, that first thing, I think I said, congratulations on the murder. He goes, oh, yeah, that's a good way to word it. He solved the murder. I was incorrect in the way I said it, but I've had fun on his show. And so it'll be a great time for anyone there who doesn't know about him. And I'd say go listen to his show, but you're going to have to listen for a week because if you listen the first day, you're going to have no clue what's going on. But he's got Blind Mike and this idiot producer, Cullinane, one of the dumber people I've ever met in my life. Good guy, though, so we don't bust his chops too much. So I can't wait, dude. It's going to be so sick to be on stage again. I remember before Pittsburgh, I was nervous. And then as the show got going, first I mentioned the lights. You can't see anyone. That helps. And then it's just us just shooting the shit with a couple guests, hopefully. And it'll be a blast. We'll do something after. We'll all hang out after, and it'll be a time. Then the next day we just get to enjoy the game. This is a great time of year, and I've never been to Fenway. I didn't go to any other times there was rinks at Fenway Park. I was playing. I think they beat the Flyers in overtime there, and then college hockey did a showcase of games. I'm hoping to maybe find an hour. I don't know if you could buy hours or to skate after in January and bring Ryder out there. It'd be sick to skate at Fenway.
Whit, I actually I got to skate at Fenway before.
Have you?
Yeah, in the early days of Chiclets, I got asked to I think it was last time they played college there or something. They asked me to play in the media game. I got to skate with Feidelberg, Pete Blackburn, got to get dressed in the Red Sox clubhouse. It was a really cool experience.
Wait, you'd consider renting out Fenway Park just so Ryder could twirl around the ice or what?
No, I'd bring all my buddies and all our kids and stuff. You could get like 20 kids and 20 of us buzzing around out there playing like a big shinny game with everyone. It'd be sick.
That's a power move. Like when do you guys remember when Drake rented out the Dodger Stadium to have dinner with this like up and coming basketball star who was playing with LeBron James's kid, and she was just like some some wicked MILF, I think a divorcee, and he rented out Dodger Stadium just so he'd get his dick wet. No, he's legit, man.
That went a crazy way from bringing my son for a nice game of shinny, but yeah, I know what you're saying.
It's a power move, just renting out the baseball stadium. It brought my mind to Drake pounding this MILF whose kid was good at basketball. I don't know, it made the airways.
I don't know. I don't even know if you can rent the ice, but if you can, I'm looking.
I know they let you like paid or go for a spin because I skated on the ice when they played Philly. What was it, 2010, 11 years ago? I paid like $30 and they let you come out and just like public skate, not like playing shinny, nothing. Just went out for a few laps. It's pretty cool to be in the Fenway Park on skates. It was pretty good shit. But listen, it's Christmas time. It means World Juniors. That's why Merles is here. He's going to give us that expertise. It just kicked off in Moncton and Halifax. Merles, other than Connor Bedard, who else should we be looking for, and who's got the best chance for an upset in the juniors this year? All right, before we go any further, I have a word from our presenting sponsor, Pink Whitney. It's the holiday season, as Biz just going to sing for you all episode. Lots of stuff going on, lots of parties. Make sure you show up with a bottle of Pink Whitney or even some nips. It's the pink lemonade flavored vodka from New Amsterdam. Granelli, I know this is your favorite gift. How many get stashed at your place right now?
Oh, I have so much, RA. It's the stocking stuffer that just keeps on giving, baby. I have 3 brothers. I say this every Pink Whitney ad read, and every brother every Christmas gets a few little Pink Whitney nips. And also, I'm heading back to Boston for the holidays. I get to see my friends who I haven't seen in a long time. So I made them each like a little Pink Whitney gift bag with the big handles that just came out, some nips. So very excited to give those to them, and I know they will be even more excited to receive them.
Absolutely, man. Christmas, now New Year's, got all kinds of stuff on the docket. So head over to your local bar, get some Pink Whitney there. If they don't have it there, go to your liquor store and get some. Mix it up, have a shot. However, order a shot of Pink Whitney, enjoy it, and enjoy the holidays.
I got a lot of good players in this. There's a couple guys that's already been drafted that we know about. I'm going to start with some guys that haven't been drafted yet. I've been big on this Leo Carlson out of Sweden. I know Witt got a scoop from him too. So he's a big guy. I've watched him play live now in Sweden. He's a winger, but he kind of reminds me of Malkin, big, lanky. He plays in all the big situations over there at 17 years old. So I really like him. I'm really looking forward to this kid on Canada, Fantinelli. He's at University of Michigan. He's got 26 points in 16 games as a freshman in college, which is just ridiculous numbers. That's like Jack Eichel numbers from BU. I've never seen him play. I haven't seen him a full game or anything like that. So I'm really excited for that guy.
He played with Donor's kid in Chicago in the USHL. And like a couple of years ago, Donor said, look out for this Fantelli kid.
I had heard his name, but then when I talked about Carlson, I think I tweeted out that he's going to be the 3rd player in the draft or the 2nd player in the draft. And everyone hopped all over me like, no. Is it Fantinelli?
Yeah, Fantilli, Fantilli, Fantilli.
Fantilli, I bet you it is. So we're just butchering this future Hall of Famer's name. But I ended up watching his first half YouTube highlights, and he looks ridiculous. Actually, he looks like a tall, kind of lanky lefty with sick hands. But I love World Juniors this time of year. I think this is like newer where draft eligible players are probably going to be some of the most dominant players, or are supposed to be. It's always the guys who've already been picked, but now so often you see guys playing in the NHL so quick. It's the up and comers who haven't even been picked who have the chance to shine in World Juniors.
Yeah, we got to talk about our U.S. team. They got Hughes. He's going to be the captain. The other Hughes brother, 4th overall from New Jersey, D-man. You got Grinnell's guy Cooley from the University of Minnesota. And something I really like about this team, they have his line mate, Jimmy Snoog. How do you say it? Snoogarud. Snoogarud. Those guys are line mates.
Rosenberger.
They're at Minnesota together. Hey, that's fun. So they're going to play together there. So that's like instant chemistry. That's going to help them in the tournament. I got to talk about, I don't know what happened, but there's this kid leading the OHL in scoring, an American kid, Ty Voigt, and he's not on the team. So I don't understand what USA Hockey is thinking with that guy.
Merles, I think he got sick right before the camp and wasn't able to try out. Oh. So they basically cut him on the spot.
I figured they just screwed him over like they did to me because we were playing in Canada and not for the U.S. program or whatever. But
it wasn't even a U.S. program when you were playing in Canada.
That is
true.
Was
there?
No, but we broke from USA Hockey. But I was only the leading scorer in college at the time of the World Juniors, Ryan, and I didn't make the team.
So from my understanding, Canada is the ultimate favorite this year because it switches around some years where the U.S. will be favorited sometimes Sweden, sometimes Finland. Usually it doesn't really move outside of that. I feel like Russia's tailed off a little bit, but this year it's Canada on top. People are saying even Finland right now in that second position based on some of the talent they have coming in. And then USA is third. That's from most people's predictions coming in. Would that be correct, Burles?
Yeah, I feel like the Finns, no matter what level, what age, they always are in the semifinals. They're always medaling. Kids hockey, senior hockey, women's hockey. They somehow find a way. There's one guy wanted to talk about this, Oliver Kapanen. He was a Montreal prospect, and I got a little connection with him because he's his dad is the Timrå general manager right now, and he was actually born in Sweden, but he plays for the Finnish team. And they have another prospect from Nashville, Joakim Kemmel, that we got to keep an eye on. I guess he could be a big game breaker, but I like the Slovaks maybe to pull some upsets. They did it before. They got that D-man Nemec, number 2 overall last year. Another Devils guy. Pasha's coming in his pants hearing all this, but
Devils got some right fucking guys in the pipeline. Holy shit.
I know.
Hey, they're going to need them because they might be missing the playoffs this year with the run they've been on, although they did have a big win against Florida. That was a big.
Is there a more mid team than Florida? They haven't even won more than 2 games in a row one time.
Yeah, it's one win, or win one, lose one, win one, lose one. That's the Florida Panthers right now.
I know you just mentioned Slovakia, but you got to sleep a bet, maybe, something a little off the radar that you would suggest to win the whole tournament.
Yeah, I don't see how Canada loses with this roster at all. Okay. But if you had to pick somebody else, I always pick Finland in this stuff. These guys are all machines. They go nuts. They play as a team. They don't care about individual stuff. So I am half Swedish now. I consider myself that. It's hard to say Finland, but I think Finland's going to end up in the finals against Canada.
All right. I think one team to keep an eye on and one player in particular is Czechia. David Jirek, the 6th overall pick for the Columbus Blue Jackets, playing with the Cleveland Monsters all year. D-man. I think he's a point per game in the AHL this season. I think he's definitely a name you want to keep an eye on, and the Czechia as well.
Yeah, Czech 16-1, nice little return if they go on a little run there. In Finland, they're
when
the
did they change the name of their country?
I don't know,
2 years ago.
And I thought it was this past winter they wanted to. I don't know if it's the whole country or just the hockey. The hockey part wants to be called Czechia or something.
Yeah, I got a couple DMs because I said that Czechia and from people like, oh, don't say it. They're like, don't use that. We don't like that word. Continue to say Czech Republic. So, I don't know if fucking people
really it's impossible not to offend anyone these days. So we better let's just say that what can we say in order to replace any of them so we don't piss anybody off?
Just say
Yager's country.
Yager.
Yager's
guy that's
country?
back playing at 50 years old.
Yeah, no shit.
Should have the country named after him.
There's probably somebody that was pissed off that loves Elf on a Shelf that I was ripping on it.
Yeah.
Fucking fake snitch. Keep kids in line. All right, Merles, before I let you go here, I know you got some family stuff to do. Any final thoughts on the World Juniors? Any last wages? Any other wishes, demands, whatever?
No, I'll be going as the tournament goes along, obviously tweeting out winners. I've been on a pretty good run. Me and Whit had some good runs together here. That Bruins game the other night was an amazing comeback. And how'd you end up with that one, Whit?
I hammered them. I got them live too when they were down 1-0. My other buddy got them when they were down 2-0 plus 330 or something.
Yeah, I got on. I saw Fights tweeted is this a bad time to say I'm at my first Bruins game? They're down 2-0. So I immediately went over, got on that live bet. I knew they weren't losing with you and him both in the building, boots on the ground.
Wow,
so I'll tell you
that was
what,
great.
Man, that place right now. And people think I'm a Bruins fan. I'm not. I like seeing them do well living here, but that barn is the best atmosphere I've seen in a long time at any NHL rink. Granted, they haven't lost in regulation, but the place is rocking the entire night. It's also Christmas game. Everyone's getting after it. It was just a great atmosphere. But RA, I sat up in that 9th floor. That's sick. Biz, they built this. I don't even know how old it is. 2 different floors. So you're basically right beneath or above the press box. I don't know exactly, but best view of the game. You got bars that stay open they don't shut in the middle of the third. They stay open till the end. No bathroom lines. And the seats are just so great. I love being up top and seeing the whole play develop. So I was fired up in there because I hammered them. I made a ton of money. And then I got out of there. I took the Jaguars second half, -2.5. They ran away with that too. So just a big night gambling on December 22nd, 2022.
Fuck, that's got to be fun when you got some money on the line and you're down 2 and you're like, and then just stealing the comeback and then the rush of winning it.
My boy, we walked in and they're down 2-0. It was, I want to say, 6 minutes in, were they down 2-0?
Yeah, it was quick.
I was probably walking into the arena as they got their second. And my buddy goes, no worries. I'm like, Jesus Christ, they're already done. He goes, no worries. He goes, it's going to be 2-2 at the end of the second period. In the third period, they're going to score with about 7 minutes left, and then they're going to get the empty netter with a minute left. Well, what the hell happens is it's tied 2-2 after 2. They score with about 6 minutes left instead of 7 to go up 3-2 and then miss the empty net. So we're going nuts. And every single goal the Bruins scored, I was lifting up my buddy's shirt and going, he was just showing his belly to everyone. And so we're going crazy. And then the final buzzer ends. Now, I didn't get the puck line bet, but granted, won a bunch of other ways. And the kid who called it, Nostradamus, Okie, he's looking at me, just the saddest eyes, just so upset. It was Okie, Merles.
Oh,
geez. Because I only had him puck line.
Oh, what a fucking idiot. What a fucking idiot.
I go, you didn't take. I always go double the money line and then half it on the puck line. Like, guarantee yourself something, you scrub.
Oh, my God.
Absolutely.
Jesus.
All right, Merles. Well, thanks for joining us. Good luck with any wager and that, and we'll be in touch, my friend.
Yep. Thanks for having me on, boys. We'll see you in Boston in just a few days.
Our pleasure, buddy.
Merles.
Yep. And a quick note here. We do have a pair of guests coming. Merles joined us, like I said, for the World Junior Talk. We got Boston Bruin Derek Forbert. We're going to talk about the Winter Classic coming up. And Erik Cole, Biz and Wit talked to him down in Carolina when they did the last Sandbagger, which we'll get to as well. But Biz, you just mentioned your TNT Wednesday. Panthers, Devils. The Devils got off the schneid. They had lost 6 in a row. They finally beat the Panthers. But at the end of the game, Matty Tkachuk, he goes after Nico Hischier, who injured Florida captain Alexander Barkov. You know, I don't think it was deliberate. Some people thought it was. What did you think of that? Was it warranted what Tkachuk did? Was it over the top? And where were the rest of the Devils when their captain was getting jumped?
Okay, so first of all, awesome slate of games. That was probably the best regular season slate of games that I've ever had on TNT. You had that game, which you just mentioned, that injury. The Devils and Panthers had played 2 games prior on the weekend. And off of a face-off, Nico Hischier, it looked like he was just off balance and cross-checked towards that gap just above the knee pad and pant, and he got Barkov. Now, Barkov is normally like something like that wouldn't faze him. He's a fucking monster. He's so durable, rarely misses time. You could see right away he winces, and he ends up leaving the game. Well, the response to the rest of that game was Florida going after Hischier and finishing every hit that they could. New Jersey's not built like that. They have Miles Wood. Bastian, who's out of lineup right now, is a guy who I think will chuck him. But overall, I think we can agree the team toughness of New Jersey is not something that they're built for. They don't have somebody whose strictly responsibility is to protect the guys, much like a Wi-Fi, like a Delorier, like a Ryan Reeves. So very disappointed to not see it that game, but maybe they're focused on trying to get the win. Florida ends up winning that one, and that's obviously why New Jersey continued this slide. Then New Jersey ended up playing the night before this rubber match. They ended up losing 4-1 to Carolina. Didn't come out playing hard, but in this game between Florida on Wednesday night on TNT and New Jersey, extremely physical game in the first half. I was a little concerned with New Jersey. They were giving up a ton 5-on-5. Right before puck drop, we found out that they lost Marino, who is out due to injury. And then 5 minutes into the game, they lose Graves. So now all of a sudden they're down to 5D. I think they were outchanced 10 high danger scoring chances to 3 in the first period. But like I said, very impressed with the way that they responded physically with the taking hits to make plays and then giving hits. At the end of the game, when it was all said and done, they pulled out the victory. Yeah, I mean, obviously Tkachuk still has a bone to pick with Hischier, and I respect the fact that, it sends the message that anytime moving forward, if you take a liberty on one of their players, they're going to respond in that way. But I think that you said it. It was unintentional. I don't think that Hischier cross-check to his knee was. It's unfortunate that Barkov's out. Now, gutsy win by New Jersey to get out of the slump. Wait, I'll throw it over to you. Florida, it's fucking, I don't know what they are, man. I don't know what they are. Bobrovsky, I'm not saying it's been his fault, but his numbers are brutal. all they need to do, based on the fact that they're scoring 3.4 goals a game, get above average goaltending, and they would have themselves in a playoff spot right now. I think that they're missing playoffs. That's my opinion. I don't think they're going to be able to pass anybody who's ahead of them, especially when they can't fucking win games like that.
Yeah, it's just last year looks like such a fluke, right? I mean, they were just crushing teams last year. And granted, everything's changed. The whole makeup of their team's pretty much different, right? And you look at, like, Barkov's an amazing player, and it's very clear that when we have guys on who've played with him, that they're always like, this guy is so amazing. But I mean, I don't think he's been at his best. And it's like, are you really going to be like blaming him for where they're at? No. But offensively, I think sometimes you wonder why he, this year he couldn't be at a point per game pace similar to Tkachuk. I mean, it's just a weird team to watch. And new coach comes in, the messages are completely different. I don't even know, watching them, what type of team they are, right? They're so inconsistent that you never even understand what's happening there. And we called this at the beginning of the year. What's funny enough is though Uyghur and Huberdeau, they haven't even been great themselves in Calgary. So it's like right now it's just a confusing time for the Panthers. And I don't know if they'll make the playoffs. I don't know if you can go back and look. Did I have them in? I might have picked them to miss.
I believe I'm the only one that had them to miss, but I will double check.
I think that's weird. I thought I had them missing too. Gee, you better go back and check the game notes, bud. But hey, going back to that game though, Jesper Bratt, who hadn't scored in about 5 or 6 games, and he had dried up a bit offensively. It's all about finding a way and grinding through one. They had a power play goal, and they were down 2-1 in that second period, and it was looking grim. They had that Kevin Ball in the lineup on defense, and he spent quite a bit of time in the minors, so they're down to like 4 NHL defensemen and an AHL guy, and they just mustered up. Florida just couldn't take advantage. And even in that third period, I talked about the amount of chances they got in the first. They had an opportunity to step on their throats. And after the game, from what I said on the broadcast, a couple people tweeted me who are Florida fans, and they said, that's the way it's been this year, where last year it felt like not only did they have all those comeback wins last year, but when they did have the lead, they would step on teams' throats, where it seems like with Paul Maurice, they tend to sit back a little bit. So definitely some frustrated fans, man. Imagine going from fucking President's Trophy to out of the playoffs. That is just a very tough situation of asset management, in which you've been critical with already with Zito.
Well, those fans have been through so much shit, right, for so long. And then finally last year comes, you're like, all right, it's all coming together, and you plan on a couple of years of really competing and going into the playoffs like a possible contender to win the cup. And all of a sudden you're like, what's going on right now? It's like, are we really going back to just being this average?
I believe we compared it to this. You saw a team like Tampa Bay when they had that miraculous season and they won the President's Trophy, and then they get beat by Columbus in the first round. What was the one thing that they stressed in that offseason? They were going to remain patient. They weren't going to hit the panic button. They were going to look internally, say, what can we change differently? And then they went with the exact same group pretty much moving forward. And sure enough, they go back-to-back cups. I think it was such a panic button move, and it's such a shame, because I agree with you, man. Everything was looking good. And the fact that they left and got off the Hubie and Uyghur train and completely fucked up the chemistry of the team, that could be a reason why Barkov hasn't played up to his ability. He's probably like, holy fuck, the turnover here is just insane, man. Like, these aren't the guys that I thought I was going to go to battle with. And I'm not saying they can't turn around. They have had quite a few injuries, like that Lundell kid who had a big year last year. Apparently he's been pretty banged up. Anthony Duclair, who sustained that torn Achilles. So I'm still not confident, especially with the fact that Washington's making a push as well. I'm not confident that they're going to make playoffs. They're going to need these guys to get healthy, and then they're going to have to hit the ground running in the second half of the season, or they are fucked.
Yeah, they're currently 6 points back to the second wildcard team. They do got a game in hand. They've yet to win more than 2 straight all season. And you guys mentioned the goalies. Collectively, the goalies 15, 15, and 4, 3.35 goals against, save percentage just 9.01. So, not getting it done. Not getting it done.
Here's my only prediction is that I feel like we know what Bobo is going to give us. I always think like, hey, this is the year he gets back to his game. I mean, you look at his numbers right now, definitely not average. Knight got pulled December 6th against the Jets. Then he had an illness, and then his first game back against the Bees, he got lit up for 7, and you knew they weren't pulling him after that because they had to get Bobo the rest. He's going to have to find his game and get a horseshoe up his ass, and they're going to have to ride him the whole way because his numbers aren't terrible, but right now he hasn't been the best, but he's got to be the guy that they look to stand on his head in the second half if they can pull it off.
During the game, Biz, you got to the bottom of a big mystery. With Gato, does Jack Hughes slug down when he's chilling in the locker room between periods? Yellow, well, lemon lime as it's commonly known. A lot of people were kind of disgusted with it. I'm a huge fucking lemon and lime fan of Gatorade.
Holy fuck! All right, take the marbles out.
I know, dude.
Get it out already.
I can't. I'm struggling.
Jesus
It's the OG flavor. It's the original flavor. Do you know where it got its name from, Biz? Gatorade. I figured you'd know this. You're a big brand guy.
Well, I know that it was created at the University of Florida, which they're.
There you go.
Okay, that's it. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm ready for Jeopardy.
Bring it on, Elon. Then the nightcap, we had a couple of MVP candidates going head-to-head. Connor McDavid, Jason Robertson. Oilers beat them 6-3. But it was Janmark, Nugent Hopkins basically stole the show, but still McDavid, he's in the midst of a 14-game point streak, tied for his third longest ever, still leading the league in scoring. Leon second. What else did you see in that game, Biz?
Well, it was fun to see the stars come out. You know, that Robertson kid's been a stallion. And, you know, I think these guys pay attention to the airways to where they started comparing Robertson and McDavid. So, you know, McDavid wants to bring his best. He was pretty quiet in the first 2 periods, though. He had that big goal in the third, ended up keeping that point streak going. But if I'm not mistaken, the nugget is there's only been now 2 players, Draisaitl and McDavid, who have hit the 55 or 65 point mark before Christmas time since 95, 96. And that was Yager and Lemieux. They did it. They had 65 points before Christmas time. So remarkable what these 2 guys are doing. They're the only reason that those guys are in a playoff spot right now. And it was a fun game. You saw a little bit of everything, some great goaltending in the first, and the floodgates open. And you know, it's just fun to see the growth of Robertson. And I think we talked about him the last couple podcasts and like what makes him so good. It's it's kind of the total package, the hockey IQ, his passing ability, how he's always scanning the ice. We talked about how he works and develops his skills every summer and how he works with a skill coach. Not the hardest of shots, but I know we compared Tage Thompson to Lemieux last week, but Lemieux, I remember when you would go down and practice, he wouldn't have this like laser shot, but the way he would just float it top corner and the goalie wouldn't even move his glove. It was just something about the deceptiveness of how he would release the puck to where the goalie just wouldn't have the time to react. So he just seems to have all these little tools and of course some great line mates as well with Pavelski, who just played his 1200th game. So did Jeff Carter, all these guys from around that draft, man. It's crazy. 1,200 fucking hockey games. And then Rupe Hintz, who had a goal in that one, who's just been an absolute horse and deserved that extension. So it's we talked about it and some Oilers fans were pissed off, but buddy, the going back to the offside goal being taken back and maybe sometimes seeing some of Connor McDavid's frustration, I think there's a strong possibility he doesn't finish that contract in Edmonton. And they would be dumb not to get every ounce of asset they can, because I think those 2 guys are just what?
Where's this coming from?
Well, we talked about it on the panel.
Really?
Yeah. So I just I'm like, yeah, like obviously they won the game and, you know, all is well in Oilerland as of late, but it's just, buddy, these guys are doing as much as what they're doing, and they're just in a wild card spot. It's just, you got to think that if they're not able to get to where they did last year, they have to strongly consider what they can get in return for these guys. They should go to Connor and say, are you considering resigning here? And if not, try to get as big a return as possible, because you got to think at some point with living in Edmonton and being in those surroundings. My understanding is that Connor has a house in California and he escapes to California quite a bit just to kind of get away from all the noise. That's at least what I think. I think Talkett mentioned that. And he was one of the ones where he played with Wayne. He played with him in LA. So he's been and seen some of that situation and talked to a guy who's been through it. And I don't know. I just don't see it as a possibility. I'm not trying to shit your cornflakes because I know you're a big Oilers fan, but it might be the end of the road for you guys with Doug.
If you end up having to trade McDavid, like the Oilers might as well move like that. I find it hard to believe. I guess if he went to them and said that, I mean, I've never even really thought of this. Well, I have prior, I guess last year kind of made everyone think, all right, well, that was a step. So I guess you're right. If they don't end up maybe going back there or at least making a to the second round, maybe he does have enough. I mean, geez, Oilers fans were having a great day. It's the Christmas season. All of a sudden, you're ruining their life. You're putting coal all over their faces. You're
Seriously.
just rubbing you're rubbing their face in the dirt.
Another thing too is the one team that you could think of, especially with Doughty and Kopitar coming off the book soon. And I could see a guy like Kopitar wanting to stay there and signing a team-friendly Bergeron type deal, and who has young, unbelievable assets and draft picks available. Like, think of how many young studs the LA Kings had that they could part ways with, as well as draft picks. They got Dursey, they got Byfield, they got Moore, they got who's the Russian name? They got Turcotte, Kaliev. That's the other guy I was thinking of. Like, they got guys that they could send back the other way, and it shouldn't be a panic type situation because, well, it should be if you fucking get rid of them for nothing, but. Going back to last podcast, there was a guy who was involved in one of those types of trades where Colorado doesn't win the cup if they don't get the return they got from that Lindros trade. Like, think of the assets that they picked up. So you look in one thing like, oh my God, you're losing the best player on the planet. But if you orchestrate an unbelievable trade, you could set yourself up for sustained excellence for many years to come, and not something that they can say they've proven that they can have under the tenure with Connor McDavid and Draisaitl, not to their own wrongdoing.
Would Draisaitl be staying there in this scenario?
No, he ain't fucking sticking around either. You crazy? But think about the return you get for those two guys. You could basically create a fucking better team than they have right now.
Well, I don't know about that, but fucking
I don't
skill
know,
level,
man. Really? Like, it's like you're trading 10 cents on the dollar for these guys.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
I don't know. Who knows how that ends up going down? But actually, the kid in Dallas that I watching that game, that Wyatt Johnson, he'd be on the Canadian World Junior team if he wasn't lighting up the show. So it's amazing to see some of these kids hop in and be this good. I know it's been happening for a long time, but kid scored a rocket goal. I think coming down the right wing. I remember he went shelf the other night. So Dallas is a nice team to watch, man. I think they could go on a run. I think they have everything there to maybe win a Stanley Cup. And it kind of comes out of nowhere. Nobody knew what to expect going into this season.
that Wyatt kid, is it Johnson, his last name?
Yeah.
So he only played 7 games in his NHL draft eligible season. And you talk about Dallas and the job that they've done scouting. They've saved their team by their drafting and developing. We go back to Ottinger, Heiskanen, and Robertson all being part of that same 2017 draft. That'll change things around. So this kid played 7 games in his draft year, and they had a gut instinct on him, and they took him. And he was a mid to late first rounder. And this year he had such a good camp that they said, hey, he's got to stick around. He's got 9 goals on the year now. So just another big move by the scouts for the Dallas Stars to continually revamp that lineup.
Oh, maybe he wouldn't be able to play World Juniors then. I might be incorrect on that. I thought he had just been drafted last.
No, I think that you are right, Whit, but I think that he's too valuable to their lineup right now, and they wanted him sticking around. So he's got 9 goals. I'm pretty sure he's still 19 years old, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Okay, yeah, he is still 19. So
yeah,
I mean, Jesus. Yeah, Dallas, you're right, Biz. That's a good point, because when the Ben and the Sagan contract started not looking great, and granted, those guys have played nice this year, you wondered what was going to go on in Dallas, and because of the drafting and not having to pay these guys a ton quite yet, they're able to stay competitive. Ottinger being probably one of the bigger pieces in terms of goaltending, young talent around the league.
They're still in first place too, Dallas. Jets only a point back with 2 games in hand. That should be a good race for that division because you're giving so much triggers to Oilers fans, man. The idea that they would trade another player to the LA Kings, like a franchise guy, you're going to set that town off. But you don't sound crazy when you lay out the math. I mean, McDavid, he's got 3 more years left after this, $12.5 million. Dreisaitl's only got 2 more after this year, $8.5 million. So I don't know, man.
I would bet
I'd be shitting my pants a little.
I would bet 25 grand they don't make it to the Western Conference Finals and take a step back this year. That's how confident I am. They're not. So with a regression season and one more season off of his contract burn, you now how many you got left with him, buddy? If I'm telling you what, Draisaitl going into that last year, buddy, if they don't fucking win nothing, I don't think he's coming back.
Hey, if he
ain't coming back, McDavid ain't coming back.
If they don't make the Western Conference Final, I have to pay you $3 grand. But if they do, you pay me 25 grand.
That is fucking. Is that a fair bet? RA, help me out here. I don't even know what's going on there.
I think he's yanking your chain here.
Fuck you, Whit, you fucking loser.
All right, come on. I would have split it with you. I would have had him saying yes in the next 3 minutes. I still
You are good at putting pressure on friends to make bets. You put, what do you call peer pressure? Peer pressure.
You make it enough where like they I don't even know how to describe what I'm trying to say right now. But with you, it's so easy.
Because I put your mind in a fucking pretzel. Because I put your mind in a pretzel.
Yeah, you did, saying McDavid's going to get traded this deadline.
Not this deadline. Fuck off.
Oh, shit. All right, we did mention the Winter Classic a little while ago. We're going to bring on Derek Forbert in a minute. We did say also Kirk Minihane is going to be hosting the live show, but we are going to be at Game On, correct, Mike, at 12 o'clock before the game starts at 2?
Yes, sir. That is correct. The Pink Whitney and Big Deals will be flowing.
Nice. So come by our pregame
one more
show.
Thing, though, we have to mention Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. I know he only had 11 goals last year. This is the kid that keeps on giving, man. Like he's been an Oiler for life, and I think there was rumors that he might be the guy that they have to part ways with before he ended up signing that deal. But what a season he's having, man! Coming through in the clutch the other night too. So he's such a good guy. I used to train with him and his brother. Just really happy for the kid in the season he's having, especially in the absence of Kane right now. He's really stepped it up for them. I think he got 18 goals now, 7 more than he had all of last season. Not a big deal.
Edmonton, with those 2 guys, when Kane comes back, if they get goaltending, can beat anyone. I think you're crazy.
Yeah.
2 guys that good can like carry a team, and the surrounding cast is, like you're saying, Nugent Hopkins, Hyman, Kane, like they can, if they get goaltending. I mean, Colorado doesn't look amazing right now. They could beat anyone. It's a crazy league, and with those 2 guys, they could win the Stanley Cup this year. It sounds crazy, but they could.
You sound crazier than I do. All right, what's the next subject? What do we got going here?
Hey, real quick, Biz,
yeah.
I just want to at 350 at the 350 mark on episode 410, you said that you had the Florida Panthers ranked 3rd in the Atlantic. That was the preview heading into the season. So you did have them making the playoffs.
All right, don't remember that.
Yeah, of course you deleted that one from the old memory bank.
All right. Yeah. Winter Classic. They announced the entertainment. Which he was going to be singing the national anthem. Belle Biv DeVoe.
I did not.
Roxbury's own Belle Biv DeVoe, formerly a new addition. They're going to be singing the national anthem with the Boston Pops and the conductor Keith Lockhart. Pretty cool shit for the local guys. And also the Black Keys are going to be providing entertainment during the game. I'm not too familiar with them. Yeah. I'm fucking old school stuff. So
I've seen them live in concert a couple times. For a 2-man band, they rock the show, man. They rock it.
Yeah, definitely want to make sure we're inside though for the anthem. Got to check out the local guys. Dude, imagine we were at Chicago at Notre Dame 4 years ago when the Bruins played out there with the birth of Puckline Jesus. Imagine it was 4 fucking years ago. I can't do it.
Wild, man. It's crazy.
Flown by. But
nuts. That was a cool setting for a game. Our tailgate was weak. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Yeah.
But it was a cool. Fenway will be way better though. The football stadiums are. It's nice to be at the game, but a little closer with baseball.
Oh, the one at Foxborough was awful. Not just
awful.
Like the game stuck. It was the lowest rated one. It was like going to Foxborough is a fucking chore and a half. So
the one in Minnesota last year in the baseball stadium was fantastic.
That was sick. They had a great rink set up behind. Remember with like the kind of outdoor vibe.
Yeah,
that was
so close.
Was awesome.
Yeah, it's good shit. So all right, what do you say, boys? We'll send it over to Derek Forbort now. Talk a little more about the Classic. So.
Oh yeah, barely. He doesn't even know what time the fucking game is.
He doesn't even know what city he lives in. I don't think.
He's the guy who shows up to the rink with 2 different socks on.
Either way, enjoy our chat with him. Well, before we go any further, we want to talk to you for a moment about our Barstool merch. Grinelli, you've done an outstanding job getting all this stuff out there. We got the Spittin Chiclets gear, the Big Deal Bruins stuff, Pink Whitney stuff, the rollback stuff. What's been your favorite thing we dropped so far this year, G?
All right, you actually just mentioned the rollback hoodies that we have, and they are so comfortable. They're light. You can wear them basically whenever. So the rollback hoodies are my favorite. These Independent Co. Big Deal Brewing hoodies are awesome as well. We have the Pink Whitney winter cap. So we have so much stuff. Also the Watson gloves, winter gloves. I love those. I wear those every single day. The UNRL sweatshirts. I mean, I think everything is our merchandise is just awesome right now. So you can head on over to barstoolsports.com/chiclets or store.barstoolsports.com and check out the whole collection.
Absolutely. I'm a big hoodie, hat guy, and especially sweatpants. So go there, get all your Spittin Chiclets merch once again at store.barstoolsports.com. Enjoy. It's a pleasure to welcome our next guest to the show. A first-round pick by LA at the 2010 draft. This defenseman spent his first 8 seasons with the Kings, winning a Calder Cup in 2015. After pit stops in Calgary and Winnipeg, he signed a 3-year deal with Boston, where he's become one of the league's best penalty killers. And on Sunday, he'll be playing in his first outdoor game at Fenway Park. Thanks a bunch for joining us on the Spittin Chiclets podcast. Derek Forbert, how's it going, buddy?
Going good. Thanks for having me. Even though in business text, he was like, he's like, Taylor Hall hasn't responded. Can we get you? I was like, yeah.
Just shrivels
we're looking for a fill-in.
He's like, Halsey hasn't responded, but do you mind coming on for the little Winter Classic preview?
You're like, you could have left that part open.
Yeah.
Made me feel somewhat wanted.
Forbes, I'm all about transparency, buddy. You know me, man. I'm all about transparency.
Dude, you had my back when the whole city of Vancouver was in my Instagram comment section too. So I was like, I got to get on this.
Oh, yeah. What did you do to deserve that? Who did you light up?
No, I was just like kind of like face washing that little Hoaglander kid, and then the whole city of Vancouver came after me.
Oh yeah, buddy. It's every other week for us criticizing them, man. They're fit for straitjackets. I mean, they almost burnt their city down when they fucking lost to the Bruins in the Stanley Cup Finals.
Dude, that city's nuts. Did anyone ever tell you guys about fake Paso girl?
No.
So like, you know how in Vancouver you walk back to the hotel after from the rink? There was like this girl out there like dribbling a soccer ball, and all like the boys were walking back, and all of a sudden she just face plants. And we're like, oh shit, you're right. Trevor Lewis like runs and like gets her a Gatorade and all this shit. And the ladies at the meal like hear us talking about this, and they're like, the Montreal Canadiens were telling the same story last week. So I texted like Toffoli and like Buzz and like the other teams that were in the Canadian division, and they're like, yeah, she was out there, same thing, dribbling a soccer ball, boom, face plants. Like that's dedicated to your craft in order to just get some interaction with NHL players. I know, dude. It was fucking hilarious. Like, yes, we call her fake Paso girl.
Did she try to hit you up for money? Hit people up for money, or just Gatorade?
No, she was just like, so like we were like gonna like call an ambulance. And she's like, no, you don't have to do that. Like, I'm just dehydrated. She's not a psychopath like Jack Hughes and drinks yellow Gatorade. She didn't request the yellow, did she?
What if she's just severely
she was pretty
uncoordinated though?
Yeah, I got her tickets the next night.
Did you?
No.
Oh.
Oh shit! All right, so Derek, we were talking beforehand. You actually were a health bomb for 2 outdoor games already, both with the Kings, right?
Suck on
Yeah,
that
thanks
one.
for bringing that up. All right.
You did actually, but so you must be obviously pretty fired up to finally get one under your belt. Assuming Monty doesn't fucking do it a third time.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Yeah.
Talk about the ultimate mush right there.
Yeah.
No, but like I say, he's one of the team's best penalty killers. What do you think of the meth beer jersey compared to the poo jersey?
What jersey?
The meth beer that you guys are wearing, the kind of crazy beer that used to be on the shoulder in the 70s.
The one that snorted coke before.
Is it known that he's the meth bear, RA? Like Forbert was supposed to know he's the meth bear?
I mean, yeah, it's pretty much. I'd say people know meth bear as much as poo beer. The other one, the pussy.
I think RA's right here. I think it's the meth bear.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I love him.
I haven't even seen it yet.
So fuck off. You haven't seen the third jersey or the one for the Winter Classic?
No.
Shut up. Yeah.
Have you been?
Hey, Biz, is this like a guy does he not have a cell phone? He just lives in his own world?
Forbes is always a bit out to lunch, but fuck, did he bring a lot of morale to the dressing room? Like, and I'll tell you what, pretty good smooth talker with the ladies. there weren't many females in Manchester, but somehow this guy would always be chatting to like the one single girl that was available. I don't know if you were like paying for the premium Hinge or something where like you would connect first, but
It would
hey,
connect to LOL.
Yeah. Tinder Plus.
So wait, so you guys, when did you play together, Biz? In Manch?
Manch 2015 when we won the Calder Cup. Not a big deal.
Biz got to Manch, and it was like the first episode of Schitt's Creek where he was like, "Where am I?" He was like trying to find the W Hotel for like rooftop pool parties. We just had absolutely nothing.
He's like, "Where's the club? Where's the club at?" Like, you know, like
he was so confused how there wasn't a W Hotel.
I would say that probably 2 weeks after I'd gotten there was a place called Manch Vegas, the club.
Yeah.
Somebody got murked
at that place.
Yeah, somebody got murked in there, and they're like, that was like the only club that we could go in town.
Yeah, that place was hilarious. Pretty fun though.
Pretty crazy how your career has progressed, man. I mean, obviously going up to LA, getting to play in 2 Canadian cities. I always knew you would make it, and already touched on it. Like, you were not afraid to block shots and do the little things as a defenseman.
Yeah, I think it just kind of took me a while to kind of like figure out what my role was going to be, and you know, I was like first round pick, and then you realize you're not that good offensively anymore, and you just kind of got to adapt and do whatever you can to stick around.
I want to touch on that though. That was like me. Like I would put up a couple points in junior, and then you get to pro, and like all these guys were doing that, and you kind of feel like a peasant with your skill set, and you kind of get brushed to the side. But it's good that you figured it out because you weren't very good offensively.
I know, still not.
We can't gloss over that call the cup run with Biz. Like, what kind of antics did he pull during that run? You just mentioned naked hot stoves or whatever. You got to fill us in on this stuff with him.
Helicopter cock on a regular basis.
Yeah. I remember there was like a game where Biz wasn't playing. He would still be like naked with the fellas in the room after the game. Like he'd still be showering with the boys. Trying to think what else. We'd be doing, I remember doing like 3-on-2 drills, and like, you know, like the forwards are like supposed to make a play. Biz would just like hard rim the puck on 3-on-2 drills and just get it on the forecheck.
That's a fact.
The center's like, make a play, Biz. Rimming it around the boards. It ends up breaking out the other end.
Dude, Biz, remember when Stutz was our coach, and Biz took practice like very seriously, and he would get a little too worked up sometimes. And Stutz would make Biz go sit in the penalty box for 2 minutes, like in the middle of practice, like just to like make him calm down a little bit.
That was my time to shine, and that's what I did as an NHLer, and probably why I stuck around so long was because I would come to practice every day. I'd be calling the hardest you've ever heard anybody call for a pass.
Oh, yeah.
It would be like the what's the merry-go-round drill, you know? It's just
you're giving the beaver tap for just like simple passing drills.
It's like a nice way of saying you were the biggest hardo of all time in practice, Biz. I remember it too, but you but you had to. That's what you were good at. But I was like, Jesus, take it easy on the breakout drill, Biz.
Yeah, 3-on-2 drills, and the D-man's going back to get a hard rim from Biz.
Nobody gives a shit about my shitty practice habits, Forbes. We got to hear about this Boston Bruin team, man. You guys have been fucking buzzing this year. I'm really happy that you found a role with the team, but this has to be the funnest hockey's ever been for you.
Oh yeah. It's I mean, we got such a great group of dudes, and you know, Monty's been awesome. He's such like a positive dude. Like we'll get down like 2-0 and he's like, boys, like we're coming back. Like, no worries. Like it's just been awesome. And with like Bergie and Marshy leading the way, it's just great.
What else makes Monty such a great coach? Obviously, he had a little hiccup in his career. He came here. He's been lights out. Probably going to run away with the Jack Adams. What makes him such a great coach that he can relate to, you know, older guys and so many young kids?
Just like the way he explains like what he wants. He just like he's so clear and kind of like articulate with it, and he just makes everything really kind of easy to understand. It's a fun system too. Like he wants the D jumping up. He wants the D kind of close to the net for rebounds and shit like that. So it's fun, and everyone just kind of knows what we have to do, and everyone's on the same page.
What about the willingness for Montgomery to let guys try plays? I feel like up front, like I was at the game last night, like it looks like Frederick, like he's better offensively. Are the lower third and fourth line forwards given a chance to maybe try to create more than last year?
Yeah, like Monty doesn't want, like, you know, like coaches would always be like, yeah, like put pucks on net. Like he doesn't really want that when there's like no one in front of the net. He's like, that's pointless. Like that's not going to go in. Like, so he wants guys kind of pulling up, making plays, you know, looking for the delay, like stuff like that. So he's pretty innovative with his coaching style and like his systems.
What about I want to talk about the leadership, Derek. I mean, have you ever had this kind of leadership in a room before? Bergeron, Foligno, Krejci, that whole group. Like what?
Yeah, he had me in
Krejci-
Manchester. We already talked about this. Hey, Bergie can't be doing helicopter cock as good as me, Forbes.
No, but like if we have like a team go night, like him and Marsh are like still kind of like leading the charge. Like it's mandatory that the whole squad's there. So I've never seen that, and it's awesome. Like
Bergeron doesn't do the mangina every third day.
We're down 2-0, boys. Fuck what Monty said. Look at this. Who does it like this? Look at how tight that clit looks.
Biz, you did it. You did have the best helicopter I've ever seen.
I would get air. I would levitate. Forbes. So I'm going to stick with the non-hockey questions moving forward. Why is everybody obsessed with your dog? I feel like everybody, every fan is talking about your dog on Twitter and social media.
I don't know. Like it's kind of gotten out of control, to be honest with you. Like literally yesterday, I was walking Darla before the game, and some dude comes up to me. He's like, "Hey, like my girlfriend loves Darla. Like, can I get a picture with your dog?" And I'm like, I'm holding the phone, taking a picture of some random dude and my dog. Like people have 2-8 jerseys with Darla on the back. Like it's getting nuts.
That is
Getting
unreal.
healthy,
Hey,
getting health bomb for 2 outdoor games is one thing. To have your dog's name on your jersey, you're eating the block shots and she's eating the treats.
Yeah, especially like in the north end, like you see like the same people around like all the time. So she's turned into like a bit of a celebrity there.
okay, so I don't know if you're single these days, Forbes, but Darla can't be hurting with the potential date matchups.
Yeah, I mean, in theory, that's good, but like next thing you know, you're dating someone from the dog park, and then you break up with someone from the dog park, and then none of the dogs play with your dog at the dog park. So yeah, it was good though. Yeah, it's good.
God.
A 5th floor walk up. Don't you have to take her up and down 5 flights of stairs a few times a day?
Oh,
One of
you
those
heard
old
about my
North End
elevator
buildings?
situation, all right?
Oh, is it fixed?
No,
Let's
not.
hear it.
I need you guys to blast this property management lady. She won't fix my elevator, so I'm carrying Darla up the
RA will
stairs.
get her whacked. Just when we're done with the interview, give him the name, and RA will call one of his uncles up.
She's about to get me whacked. Her grandpa like owns the building, and so like, and she's like the property manager. So of course I looked up how to use nepotism in a sentence, and I threw that at her, and she like, no, she won't even respond to me anymore.
What floor are you on?
I'm on the top, and I had a leak in my roof, and it was like perfectly on my bed, just a perfect circle of water. She won't text me back about that. My elevator's broken.
Oh, what is the name of this lady? We can have Bruins fans storming the gates of her office to get your bed fixed.
I'm in World War III right now, but whatever.
What do you when you go to the room? Like, do you tell the boys about this situation? Are they aware of what you're?
Oh yeah, everyone knows about my. Dude, I almost missed a game last year when the elevator broke. The fire department had to come get me out. I was 30 minutes late for the game.
Like not for puck drop, but you were there like 1.5 hours before puck drop.
Yeah, I thank God I had my cell phone. I called coach. I was like, hey, like I'm stuck in the elevator right now.
Do you get the sense that
have you thought about maybe moving out? Like, you're in the NHL. This has to be. This is like Manch Vegas again.
I know, but like I got the dog park right across the street from my place. It's a great apartment. Besides that, it's just like if the elevator was working, it'd be great.
You never answered if you have a girlfriend or not.
No, I don't right now.
Wow. Okay. Most eligible bachelor on the Boston Bruins, would you say?
Yeah, that's what my Instagram bio says.
You have not changed one bit, Forbes. We got to talk about this outdoor game though. You got to be so fired up.
Yeah, it'll be sweet. I'm pumped to just see what like below Fenway looks like the clubhouse and all that stuff. And got a bunch of family coming out for it, so it'll be fun.
Will you guys just skate one time over there before? Do you know the schedule yet? Can Biz skate with you guys?
Well, there's we got practice, and then there's a family skate too. So I guess just those.
It doesn't really seem like you know much of what's going on. Should we just ask you about this, about your everyday life? It seems like you got a lot more interesting shit going on with that.
I mean, I just like to live day by day. So I haven't really checked the schedule on the Winter Classic too much.
Who has became your best friend on the team, would you say?
Oh, there's a lot of good dudes. I love DeBrusque. He's like one of like my favorite dudes ever. He's you'll love this. His girlfriend's in med school. So he's like, I think he's a little insecure about it. So he's trying to learn a new word every day just to like get his vocab up.
So he knows he's outmatched up top, and he's like, damn, I gotta get a little smarter.
I gotta add a new word a day.
Say, it's funny you mentioned that. I think about 18 months ago, I started a new word every podcast. I would come on and describe the word. I think I lasted 2 pods.
Yeah, it's tough.
We had him on a few years ago. He is a character. But back to Fenway. Are you a big baseball fan? Did you get over there during the summer at all, or during baseball season?
I went to a game in the spring, and then last fall went to a couple playoff games back when they're in the playoffs. So yeah, I love watching baseball, especially at Fenway. It's like it's so much cooler there than the park back in Minnesota. So
you're gonna be throwing on the eye black underneath?
Might have to. Just I don't even know what time the game's at, but if the sun's out.
Jesus Christ, Forbes.
He's gonna be a game on like an hour before with us.
Hey, you don't know anything about the hockey side, but I'll tell you what, we could name every player in that locker room and you'd be able to tell us a funny little story like you did about DeBrusque. Like what is
Halsey
it about
been up
March?
to?
Besides not texting Biz back, no, Halsey's good. Halsey's good. He got married this summer. What a quitter! But no, just kidding. We have such a great like group of dudes. Like it's so fun going to the rink every day. Like everyone just like makes fun of each other, and we just have fun.
When you signed here, Doug, what was the clincher for you? What was the last thing? Said, okay, this is why I'm going to come to Boston. Outside the 3 sheets a year.
I always loved the city. Like when played up in Manchester, we would go down into Boston all the time, and I always loved it. And, I don't know, it's just such a good sports town. Like people are nuts about the Bees, and I just thought that would be kind of fun to play for.
I like living in the North End. You got to like keep from temptation because there's so many good restaurants and bakeries and shit over there.
Yeah, like trying to walk a dog in the North End is tough. Like there's food on the ground everywhere. Literally last week, I was pulling money out of the ATM and I looked back and Darla was munching on a buffalo wing.
Yeah, you might be getting free food because of Darla soon enough, though.
Yeah, the restaurants are awesome. Like it's all like kind of like locally owned, kind of small business stuff, and it's a lot of fun.
You're from Duluth, Minnesota, but you ended up going to North Dakota.
Yep.
Why I guess was Minnesota Duluth already really good? When I was in school, they weren't very good.
No,
I don't know if it switched when you got there.
They were like kind of just starting to get good. Like that was kind of they won the national championship my freshman year. So that hurt a little bit.
Yeah, Jesus. You had the option to go to your hometown team, said no, and then they won it all in your face.
I know, but like going to college in like my hometown just didn't seem like the smartest move at that time.
You'd already burnt too many bridges. You're like, I got to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I'm going to a new state. See you guys.
Never go home.
No.
Who's your partner been most of the year?
Clifton.
Okay.
Cliffy Hockey.
Yeah, he's awesome. He just murders guys out there, and then he like gets breakaways too.
Went like the penalty kill. I mentioned it in the intro. You're one of the top penalty killing guys in the league. Where did that all come about? Was that more from Monty putting you in the position? Was it? I don't think you were doing it so much last year. What changed there where you got so good at it?
I mean, I was killing all that last year. I don't know. Just like I think it was just like the coaches I had like growing up. Like I remember we had this coach in Bantams who would like just like shoot pucks at us, like and like shot blocking drills, like stuff like that. And then when I got to LA with like John Stevens and Matt Green, like we would like literally do like drills after practice where we would work on blocking shots with like the rubber pucks. And I don't know, you just kind of get good at it. And when you're not really contributing too much offensively, you got to help the boys out in some way.
Love that answer.
Lindholm this year. Last night I was watching him against the Jets. He's so good. And I didn't really understand. I guess I didn't see enough of Anaheim play, but are you kind of surprised, or did you know from playing out west against him that he was this good?
Yeah, like so we played Anaheim quite a bit when I was in LA, so you kind of got to see him. He's like gotten way more of like a power play role here, I think, than he had in like Anaheim, and like he's just been so good, makes such good plays with the puck. He's just like just as strong defensively. So I think like him and McAvoy are like two of the better two-way D-men in the league for sure.
Do any of the guys ask Pasta when he's going to sign?
No, I might start getting on him though.
I was just going to say, you seem like the perfect guy to be like, hey, Pasta, we're all wondering here.
Yeah, come on, Dave. Just sign that thing, huh?
What's your go-to spot in the North End for eating?
Aria is probably like my favorite Italian joint. Monica's good. Daily Catch is like if you don't really want to have too much pasta. Those are kind of my main three.
Dino's best steak and cheese in the city, man, right at the corner of Salem and Prince. If you're looking for a good cheese,
I literally live right up the street from that. I walk by it every day.
Yeah, definitely good stuff there. Well, Derek, thanks so much for joining us. Just a heads up, the game is at 2:00. You just want to get there in time. Don't want to get stuck in the elevator. Any other final questions, boys, before we let them go?
No, we appreciate having you on, dude. Maybe you can come to our live show if you're down. January 1st, 7 p.m.
Yeah, it's only $45 tickets, and you are making $3 million now, so I'm sure you can afford to.
But
get
he
in.
lives in a building without an elevator, Biz.
I'll leave you a couple COD, cash on demand, buddy.
Where's it at?
The Wilbur Theater over by the Wang Center.
All right, maybe I'll see you there.
Yeah,
hey, I think if you brought out Darla, it would be a big night for us.
She does thrive in situations like that.
You're the man, buddy.
Hey, buddy.
All right, see you guys.
See you, D. Thanks for coming on.
Go Monarchs.
Big thanks to Forbes for jumping on with us. What a character, Biz. He must have been a hilarious playing with back in the day. I know we talked about it a bit, but little dry sense of humor, gets his digs in there. Pretty funny character.
I could have legit asked him about every single player on the team and what was funny about them. I was hoping that we were going to go through the list, but we'll save it for next time. Hilarious in the locker room. Great morale guy. On the hockey stuff, though, probably the shortest answers we've ever gotten on the podcast. It's like he doesn't even care about hockey, but he's unbelievable at it. So shout out to Forbes, man.
Meanwhile, Biz, the Sabres, you talked about them and Tage Thompson briefly on the show last week, but they're basically like the Undertaker gift this season. The Sabres right back in it, 6 points back with 3 games in hand. They swept a 3-game road trip, won 4 in a row, outscoring the opposition 18-6. The goalie UPL, their Ukko, Pekka Luukkonen, and Craig Anderson, the way they've been playing, man, I think that locker room believes that they can absolutely get into the playoffs. They head into Christmas break feeling good about themselves. You got Tage in the MVP conversation, the highest scoring non-Oiler in the league. Only 2 defensemen have more points than Rasmus Dahlin right now, Carlson and Morrissey. And the rookie contributions they've gotten from JJ Peterka, Jack Quinn, Owen Power. This team is fucking firing on all cylinders, Biz, but do they get into the playoffs?
I still think they miss out of playoffs, but I mean, they have $17 million in cap space right now. Obviously, I don't see now as the time to go out and
McDavid to Buffalo.
Hater.
Fuck, you threw me off already.
Sorry,
hey, I'd love to see it. At least you go to a winning environment. But they got $17 million in cap space. I don't think that they do anything drastic. And because we always talk about trying to create a team where you have sustained relevance for like 5, 6, 7 years. And I think that they're well on their way to doing that. I think that they're probably going to stay put. And keep in mind, they're out with Owen Power twisted his foot or ankle. So he hasn't been playing lately either. Once they get him back in the lineup, that's a big boost. But Rich, you see them doing anything to acquire anyone? You mentioned the goaltending, RA. If I were them, I would make a stab for Vejmelka with the Coyotes. He's got 2 years left after this. I want to say at 2.5 or 2.75 million. He's the one of the best goalies in the league, not record-wise, but most high-danger scoring chance saves out of anybody. He just passed Allmark, and I want to say, who was the other guy that he passed the other night for high-danger scoring chance saves? Anyway, I'm drawing a blank on that, but they're going to have to solidify goaltending for the future, and I think that would be a good guy to go get because I would imagine that the Coyotes would be willing to part ways with him because one thing, he's making too many saves where he's getting them too many wins where we're trying to get we're trying to get shit so we can get a better draft pick. But then they would also have to go and bolster the back end. The only issues they're having is keeping the puck out of the net and their defense. They're the highest scoring team in the league right now. So if they do want to make playoffs this year, they're going to have to go address those 2 situations. And they can, but from an organizational standpoint, I don't know if you want to take that stab quite yet. We talk about all these teams who rush the rebuild, and sometimes they get a little bit overzealous. If you're the Buffalo Sabres, you are sitting pretty. Don't get too anxious. What do you think?
I love their team. I said it before the year when we talked to Poso and got to be around the fans there. And just watching the struggle. I already at the beginning of the year mentioned I was buying in. I was a Buffalo Sabres fan. They're awesome to watch. I think I mentioned last episode, the fans are so fired up because they're finally enjoying watching their team play. They're down 3-0. Well, they're not really out of it. They have this like best bargain in the league, Tage Thompson, just dominating, becoming a huge storyline in the show. And the guy that I kind of want to give a little shine to is Jeff Skinner. If you remember, man, that guy signed I think an 8-year, $72 million deal. And then the first year into the deal, I think he had like 20 points or something. He was horrible, and kind of a guy that was really like not a running joke by any means, but people are like, oh my God, this guy lost his game. He's making $9 million for 8 more years. And he's been sick. I think he's on like a 90-point pace. And I mean, I guess I felt bad for him for a little while. I guess as bad as you could feel for somebody who signed over $100 million worth of contract money in the National Hockey League. He had that 6-year deal with Carolina for around 30. So he's a guy that's just kind of bounced back the last 2 years that you're happy for. And then Alex Tuck was such a big trade, just him getting there and how good he's looked. I mean, Thompson's one of the best shooters in the league, but like Tuck's not far behind him. This one-timer, he'll pick corners flying down the wing. So like they're just very exciting to watch. I could see them sneaking in, dude. I don't come the last 20 games of the year. I think they're right there. So I don't know if they'll get it done, but they're tough to play against, and they play fast, and the fans love it. That building, unfortunately, I think they had 2 games moved, right? I mean, Buffalo fans, they can't even go to the home games right now. The Bills game got moved.
Do you think that they make a deal at the deadline to better their team?
Oh, is that what you asked me originally? I paused.
No, it's fine. Giving them a double wrist or stroke.
I think they look at what's out there.
Either, but
they look at what's out there, but I don't think they're in a huge rush. I mean, they do have a bunch of young guys if they wanted to go out and get a stud, but it's almost maybe a little bit too early. You know, you don't want to rush something like that. You want to go out and get somebody when you think you could actually win a Stanley Cup. I don't know if they're actually thinking that.
Well, and I talked about goaltending, and there was a kid that you kept mentioning. I want to say that they got him in a trade
with Florida, Levi. He's at Northeastern.
Right. But so some Sabres fans are going to say, why would you make a trade to get a goalie of the future when you got this guy in the pipeline? It's like, well, hey, there are no guarantees here. This guy had a great training camp. He's lighting it up this year. He's lighting it up to the point where he might be a Hobey Baker finalist this year, no?
Possibly.
Correct.
He's the best goalie in college hockey, and the kid at BU is good too. But Biz, I actually disagree. Like, I kind of am with the fans. Like, why not? Why, if we think this kid has a chance to be that good, let's at least give him a year or two pro. Because what if you end up trading or doing something like getting a Bobrovsky, then you have Spencer Knight. It's like, why did we do that?
No, well, so the reason I said Vejmelka specifically is because he has 2 more years at 2.75. So you got a very competent goalie, and not saying the guys there haven't done a good job, but you have to have a guy who you think you can hand over a starting position to. Craig Anderson's not the answer for the future. So if you think you have a stab at playoffs this year, why not go get a guy where you got him 2 more years under contract at a fair value, give up something where it's like, I don't know what it would take to end up getting him over. I would imagine a second rounder or a couple second rounders might not be enough. Coyotes might want a first round pick. In that case, you might not do it. But it's just, I think that they need to address goaltending right now if they want to have any type of success in the next couple of years, mainly this year and making playoffs too, where they're going to have to lean on somebody, and they don't have the back end to not make all the high danger scoring chances go away, even with Owen Power in the lineup. So I'm bullish on the Buffalo Sabres, and I don't think that this is a season squander just yet. I would like to see them make a very interesting, crafty move, not just for this year, but for years to come. Like kind of like how when Tampa would make those trades at the deadline. Well, they got Coleman for the extra year, so it wasn't just a gamble on the year at hand. They got who's the kid they got now? They got from Chicago last year, Hagel.
Yeah,
there's another guy on a fair deal which can contribute, and you're not just trading him for the right now. So I hope they make it.
Yeah, 17 mil. I mean, they don't have to get a Norris caliber, but I think they might go and get a veteran defenseman just to shore up the back. And like you said, Biz, they're leading in goal scoring, but they're also fucking 20th in giving goals up. So you mentioned the take. We got to congratulate Matthias Maccelli. The NHL finally put his picture up on the fucking website a week ago. Still wasn't up there. We must have complained loud enough so that the kid finally got his mug up there. So how about the other night, man? Linesman Dan Kelly just fucking tossing Michael Bunting out of the club, Gronk style. And then with the tweet, I think Bunting has every right to dummy number 98 here, talking about the linesman. And I was going to ask you guys, have you ever seen a ref or an official be that aggressive? And someone dug up an old clip. Actually, it was Darcy Tucker himself. Mick Magoo, the ref, literally threw him in the penalty box way back in the day. But have you guys ever been in a game where a ref got that handsy with a player?
Funny. It's two guys who would stir up the most shit after the whistle would go in front of the net, Whit? So maybe these linesmen are fed up night in and night out, having to clear the front of the net out, and finally just the wires cross and they pigeon toss him out of the building. Bunting was kind of laughing about it. And then I guess after the game, he said that at one point he was playing in the minors against this guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And obviously that's where they're getting a lot of these officials now from, like, guys who played in the minors, and then they put them through the crash course. I played with a guy, Jordan Samuel Thomas, who he ended up becoming an official pretty quick too.
Wow. I mean, I didn't know that. Yeah, he probably had some beef with him going back to a game against each other. He wanted to dump him.
Yeah, he probably stuck him in the nuts.
But it is kind of, I mean, like, player can't put his fingertips on a ref and the guy's just like bodying him off the ice. And I didn't see Bunting after talk about it, but in the moment he looked kind of pissed. He's like, what the fuck are you doing? Get your hands off me. But yeah, I didn't even know the guy was an ex-player. He'd had enough.
Do you think that's open season for him to throw at least one shot back?
Well, having tweeted what I did, I was like, I think it was like the third push. I'm like, okay, buddy, I have to hit you back now. You're dominating me. You're just stuffing me in a locker. So I guess he must have been that annoying. The one thing was, you could maybe justify a ref pushing a player like that if he's maybe dragging him off of a guy, or like, separating a fight. But he was 20 feet away from any other player. It wasn't like that. Like, he could have just been standing in front of him and said, get off the ice. Maybe
I have to lean to what you were saying. This has to be something that happened when they played against each other, where he must have stuck him in the nuts, and that was revenge.
Exactly.
You mentioned former players becoming refs. When we were down in Philly, I bumped into Connor O'Donnell. He's a relatively new ref. He played back in the OHL, played juniors. Now he's an NHL ref. He's a big fan of the show. He said to say hello back when I met him in Philly. Pretty cool guy, but interesting. He played, like I said, I think he won a Memorial Cup in the OHL. Moving right along here, Biz.
Wait, real quick. Dan Kelly, that ref, was actually once suspended for 10 games for an illegal hit on Andreas Johnson, who was at the time playing for the Toronto Marlies, and a big melee ensued after that. So maybe that's where it came from.
I thought you were going to say you got a 10-game sussy for hitting a ref.
No.
Well, Bunting came up with the Coyotes organization, so he wouldn't have been playing with the Toronto Marlies, but I get where your head's at, G. So basically what you're saying is that linesman's a scumbag.
He's a hothead. We'll say that.
Good to know.
All right. Ottawa extended defenseman Artem Zub with a 4-year, $18.4 million deal. Comes out to 4.6 AAV. The 27-year-old undrafted Russian would have been unrestricted free agent this summer, but is currently sidelined with a jaw fracture. But he's a pretty much a core part of that Senators team. So nice to see them get him locked up. Meanwhile, Vancouver, very likely that Bo Horvat will be dealt. Rick Dollywall reported that pending UFA, rejected a Canucks contract offer, basically ensuring he'll get traded before the deadline. The 27-year-old center has 31 points in 32 games, 22 goals among that. He's in the last year of a 6-year, $33 million deal, paying him 5.5. Canucks captain in his 9th season. He did issue this statement via the team. I am focused on this season and playing for the Vancouver Canucks, helping the team in any way I can. I will not have any further comments this year about my future. So where does he go? What do they get for him? What do you see happening here, Biz?
Colorado Avalanche. I already talked to Joe. It's happening. You heard it here first. I talked to Joe Sakic. I said, hey, who's going to step up in that second line center role? Who's going to do that? You lost Kadri in the offseason. You played it smart. You said, you know what? I'm going to save that money. We're going to spread it out among the rest of the team. And another thing, people are saying, how the fuck is that going to work cap-wise? Maybe, just maybe, they pull the old LTIR trick, just the way the Tampa Bay Lightning did it to win their second of the back-to-back. Bo Horvat to the Avs, confirm. What do you think, Ryan Whitney?
I don't know. I think the Bruins could be all over him. I think that every single team that's looking to try to win the Stanley Cup this year is going to be making calls. I mean, this guy is going to be such a sick addition. Gets in the dirty areas, playoff type player. Somebody who probably, saw the JT Miller deal and realized then he probably wasn't going to be back in Van, right? The way that team's going, like, first off, there's probably times he doesn't even want to be playing there. I'm putting words in his mouth, but what a crazy couple years it's been in Van. And then, you see Pettersson and these guys coming up, and it just, when he got that offer and turned it down, I totally understand him just saying, guys, I'm not talking about this either. It's like, you can't really blame a player for not wanting to discuss a contract renegotiation openly in the media if you're the captain of the current team, right? It's fair for him to say, I'm not talking about this. This was before the year or after.
It'd be funny if he did, though. He's
what?
like, first year it was $5 million signing bonus, $8 million. Second year it was $4 million. Just to go through the whole breakdown of the contract. 10-minute rant. This fucking JT Miller guy's making $9 million. They think they could get away with paying me $8 million. Are you fucking kidding me? I got the C on my jersey, bitch. Fucking
Not
wake
the
up, brother.
Grizzlies.
Yeah.
Canucks.
Guys, I have a confession to make. I didn't actually talk to Joe Sakic about it.
We know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I still think he's going to Colorado, though.
And Draga said they might be looking for more of a hockey deal, Vancouver, that is, instead of just an eye toward the future. They might try to upgrade at one of their positions.
bet.
So,
Well, they're going to want to.
looking
I mean,
for
a
a
lot
lot
of
of
teams aren't going to do a deal for him without an extension in place.
right. I was wondering too, would we possibly get our second sign and trade ever in the NHL after Matty Tkachuk? Because, like you said, a team's going to want him, then they could get that max deal out of him too. So,
Ooh, it's like
Yeah.
the new trend, like the boot cut jeans coming back. Ooh, the old sign and trade. Ooh.
What's boot cut? Like
Biz,
wide or skinny?
No,
wide.
it goes out. Like it goes out at the bottom.
Okay.
I want the sativa you had today, buddy. You're fucking buzzing.
No, this is my fifth cup of coffee.
Oh, there
Just
you go.
trying to-
No,
I'm going through a snowstorm here, buddy. This is going to be the most exciting part of my next 2 days.
And he's going to Cabo tomorrow. He's buzzing.
there you
No,
go.
hey, flight was canceled. I just got the text, so I'm stuck with the parents.
All right, well,
Me, Cam, and
meet the
Yoli are going to be
Fockers.
watching Christmas Vacation over and over for the next 2 days. It's the holiday season. Tickety-tock
Well-
around the clock.
His mom's going to catch him
Oh, no.
fondling
Cranking
himself
one off.
again, this time to the scene when Chevy Chase is picturing the girl in his an imaginary pool he wants to buy.
On the couch next to them.
Oh, shit. Well, speaking of buzzing, you boys had another Sandbagger down Carolina a couple months ago with Erik Cole and Justin Williams. So I think it's time we bring on Erik Cole for the interview, and we'll talk about the Sandbagger after. So now let's send it over to Erik Cole.
Well, folks, it's a pleasure to be joined now by the one and only Erik Cole. Quickly, I'm going to mention to you, this guy, he has all these accomplishments and all these amazing things that he's done that we'll get into, but he just came into our hotel room and gave us, I'm going to say, Chinese crack acid to put in our eyes. He said we needed eye drops. So for anyone watching on YouTube right now, we're not mangled. We just got Colesy eye dropped. But before we really...
I feel like I had a
welcome.
full body
You're
cleanse,
welcome.
though.
Yeah. It's a refresher.
No, it's like waking the eyes up a little bit.
And this isn't your basic...
But we look like we're out to lunch.
Yeah, these are not your basic eye drops. Talk about these eye drops. I will say, though, it completely woke me up. I think it cleared my sinuses as well. What are these things?
Biz asked if there was mint in the eye drops.
Were these made in the Wuhan lab?
It's literally Listerine for your eyes. They're the most amazing eye drops ever. I use these like before games and stuff like that, and I've got hilarious stories about teammates that I've had that like I've used them, and then
what are the name of the eye drops?
They want to try them. So it's Roto is the company, RHO,
which I've seen before in CBS and stuff. But this one has, I don't know if it's Chinese or Japanese writing all over it. Like
this is the Four Loko of eye drops.
Yeah, this is like the 100%. It's the big deal of eye drops.
Who introduced you to these, and then obviously because they work so well, you started introducing the teammates. You told us a funny story that we will get into.
Yeah, so I started using these just before games because, like you said, like it wakes you up, snaps you out of it, like you're tip top, ready to go, and. There was one night in Ottawa with Carey Price where he used them, and dude thought he was blind going out there for like warm-ups and everything.
What's the movie with Sandra Bullock?
It was so
he's
funny.
going out for warm-ups.
He's like, what are you doing to me? And I'm like, buddy, just trust the process, man. Like you'll be
just
good.
Give it 20 minutes.
Yeah. I'm like, get out there and stretch. You're gonna be all good. He thanked me as soon as I came in, like after warm-ups, and he's like, when we get to Florida, you need to take me to the CVS, so I need to know what I'm buying here. And Kari Lehtinen in Dallas, same thing. Like,
so you're a goalie whisperer,
I'm a
basically.
goalie guy. Yeah,
Hey,
I'm a goalie guy. I love goalies.
The Jumbotron comment by him is
so
all the time. This is how
Pricer-
well these eye drops work.
So Pricer comes back in after warm-ups, and I'm playing in Montreal at the time, obviously, and so I come back in. I'm one of the last guys like off the ice in warm-ups, and I get to the corner. So it's like, you guys know the locker room setup in there, and so it's just me and Pricer in this, big corner. We had, it's like 4 stalls between the two of us. We're just taking up space, right? Like, guys are getting dressed on top of each other. But I'm like, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I'm next to the great Carey Price. Like, beat it. And I come back in, and Pricer's like, he's like, man, I got to tell you. He's like, I was so worried. He goes, but then I went and stood in the net, and he's like, I looked up at the Jumbotron. And he goes, I saw a fly go across the Jumbotron. Needless to say, we won that night, and he had a great game.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah.
You could see him.
Seriously.
That might be in his Hall of Fame speech someday, the Roto-Japanese version.
Honestly, if there's a shout out to the eye drops for him accomplishing what he did, I'll take great pride in that.
I love it.
Well, Colsey, I gotta say, we're pumped to have you on, man. We filmed the Sandbagger yesterday, and we quickly got to know your personality.
I thought we weren't supposed to talk about this.
We won't mention the results. We won't mention what happened, but getting to know you, we knew this interview would be blasted to do.
Okay.
Because this guy pulled in biz, no hat on, mustache. What'd you say he looked like?
Wonton. Well, you say you look like Wonton Don, and
Yeah, he did look
Ted
like
Lasso
the dog.
had a baby. And for some people listening, this is not a Chiclets, etc. You do sound a lot like Merles, one of our co-hosts.
Upper New York.
Well, we all do kind of talk alike.
So you're
I'm not gonna lie.
You're from Oswego?
Oswego.
All right,
Yes.
so you grew up there, and then ironically enough, this weekend, I think it's your 25th like high school reunion with 6 of your closest buddies are down.
Yeah, I've got a crew in town right now. They're literally at my house. We just backed up the drive shack, tea time till 3:00 when this storm rolled through last night. So like we actually could have gotten out and played the golf course today, but no, not a big deal.
Those are the guys you played hockey with, though.
So these are
growing up?
guys I literally went to grade school with, played minor hockey with in Oswego, and I stayed in my hometown until I was 17. You know what I mean? We didn't play AAA. Like, we were a B organization.
You were playing town hockey that long?
And then I played high school. Yeah, I played 2 years of high school, and the rest of the time it was literally just playing for Oswego minor hockey. That was it. And then I went from there to Des Moines, and then Des Moines to Clarkson. I committed to Clarkson before I even committed to going to Des Moines.
Yeah,
Clarkson wanted me to go
USHL.
Clarkson wanted me to go across the border to Cornwall, and I didn't love the setup of trying to go to school over there, and then they're like, well, you can live in Messina, New York, and just commute back and forth across the bridge. And I'm like, well,
Every day.
I'm like, well, that's no fun, because then I'm not around the guys and whatever. And so I ended up, I'll never forget, like, Scott Owens, and I thank this guy a lot for having faith in me. Like, he's probably one of the first guys, like, outside of my hometown coaches, which I had unreal coaches like growing up. Like, the guys that coached me, grew up in the game, played hockey. My high school coach was a 72 Olympian.
No way.
Yeah, like, silver medalist. Like, I was so fortunate. Like, the guy that coached me as a peewee he's been running the Division III Oswego State Lakers program for
they're a wagon every year.
however many years. Like, but his first year coaching that team, he was the assistant coach, and he was our head coach as peewee. So, like, he missed some weekends and stuff like that. But, like, I'll never forget Eddie Gozik. I can't thank you enough. Like, he's just great guy, and he's still there. He's still running the program. They got a great thing going there. And I went. Scott Owens called my house phone. You know what I mean? Like,
No
because
cell
back
phone.
then,
Landline,
right?
the big curly cord.
So, yeah. So this dude calls.
What is this in like 96?
This is like 93, 95.
Yeah.
95. So this is like even, you know, I'm like, I want to say I was a junior in high school that year. And he, like, house phone rings, and my mother, you know, I think she wakes me up on a Saturday morning at like 10. She's like, there's this guy on the phone who wants to talk to you. I'm like,
hung, Mom.
Right? Like, yeah, you don't know what we did at the drive-in last night. So I answer this call, and I talk to this guy, and he's like, hey, Scott Owens, is that, you know, we drafted you in the USHL. I'm going to be in Boston next weekend to see you play. It was like pre-draft or something like that. And I'm just like, yeah, whatever. I'm playing for Uncle Sam's out of Albany, New York. Matty Murley, his dad ran that.
Yep.
Like, you know, it's like I said, like I didn't play AAA hockey. So like in the summers, I'd go and jump on with these teams. But like during the season, I always played just B hockey and all this. And
were you, not to interrupt, were you really good? Like, or were you kind of a late bloomer? Like, was there times you like could have left and you just never did?
No, I mean, I think, yeah, like the Syracuse Stars program was the big AAA program in our area, and like they wanted me to come. You know, they'd poke at me a little bit. Don Kernan, he was another guy that had a lot of belief in me. Like he saw things in me that I never saw. You know, and you know, he ended up coaching us in like Empire State games, and I'll never forget this with him. I was playing with Timmy Conley, was my centerman at Empire
he was
State
probably
games.
60.
Oh man,
no,
he was
3 years younger than you.
He was a baby. Like he was a sophomore in high school, and I was a senior, or junior. So he must have been a freshman. Anyway, like we were out in like Niagara for like in like the program was just starting out like at in Western New York there, and that's where we had the Empire State games. And I'll never forget, like, because you know the Central versus the West is a big rivalry in Northern New York. Like it's
okay.
We hate these guys. You know, obviously, we hate the Long Island crew, but like it's like you battle. Like if you're playing against these guys, like you do not want to lose. And I'll never forget like having a really great game, and Timmy was my centerman, and I had a great game because he's such a great player.
Yeah, he's so sick.
And I came off the ice after a shift that made it 6-2 or whatever it was, and Donnie grabbed me and he's like, I will never forget this moment. I will never forget what you just did.
It made you
and
feel
it was
so
like,
good.
Yeah, like and at the time I literally left from there to go out to Des Moines and meet my billet family, Paul and Sue Garvin. Unfortunately, Paul's passed now, but like the most unbelievable like couple, you know what I mean, that I could have ever asked for. Their son, I had all of a sudden I got a younger brother, Jonathan, and it was just such a great experience. But so Scott Owens, he tells me he's going to be in Boston and drafted you. I want to talk to you about coming out to Des Moines. I'm hanging up this phone, like, and I'm literally laying in bed. I hang up this phone and I'm like I'm going to Des Moines, right? Like hang it up.
There's hockey in Des Moines.
And then this guy shows up. He shows up in Boston the next week. We're there. We're playing for Uncle Sam's, and parents, everybody's in the parking lot. And he shows up at the hotel to take me out to breakfast. And it wasn't until the reaction from the AAA parents, like all the parents of the kids that have been playing AAA hockey and rolling all across the country.
They knew who this guy was.
They knew who this guy was, and they were like, their excitement level
made you
like
kind of
it perked my parents up, where they were like, whoa, like what are we missing? And that was when we were like, okay, well, man, we got to look at this. Like we got to take note of this. And
was it more for you of like knowing like, oh, like if I want to take that next step, this is probably where I got to go, given those guys?
I don't even think that like that's how we looked at it. Like we were still pretty skeptical about it. Like it was, I'm gonna move halfway across the country. I'm 17 years old.
I got all my buddies.
I gotta be honest with you. Like I'm like really good friends with like my mom and dad. Okay, like we like so I'm the baby of the family. Like my sister's gone. My sister moved here to Carolina in like '94. Like I was here visiting my sister. I came here for spring break with my buddy Jeff Diltz and Nate Elliott for like spring break, junior year of high school.
Came full circle. You win a cup here.
Like we drive down here and spend a week with my sister. I don't know how we convinced our parents to let us do it, but like Allison was here, before the Canes. I honestly think that's why they drafted me. Like my draft interview with the Hurricanes was 30 minutes. It was just a quick. I was in because it was in Buffalo, so I was.
I mean, my experience was so different. Where like when I got drafted to the OHL, like I don't think I called my parents for the first 3 weeks. But so you were so close to your family, you didn't know if you wanted to make the step. But then eventually, went out there, took a look at it, and decided to go.
Yeah, we went to Des Moines. So like New York State schooling's a little bit different. So like I was like in school until the end of June. So I had like Regents exams and all this, but like that's when they're doing their whole training camp. It's like a week-long camp and all this. And I'm like, I can't get out there until Friday. You know what I mean? Because I had exams all week. And so we showed up and flew out there. They brought us to the rink, kind of, toured us around a little bit. I jumped on the ice. They were doing like a skills competition, like on the ice. They're like, just get out there and, get what you need and then get off the ice and we'll go grab a bite to eat. They bring me back there. So I'm playing in the first game that night. There's 2 games, right? 4 squads. I think I scored a goal in my first shift. Like,
hey, is this half shield?
Yeah, but I was 17, so I couldn't wear the half shield yet. I ended up wearing a half shield in Des Moines, but that wasn't until November, like after my birthday. So I get out there and it was probably like the second period of the game, right? And Scott Owens is up there with 2 of his buddies. One's the coach at UNH, the other guy's the coach at Providence. He comes down and he's like, hey, we're going to send you off and, you sit out the rest of this game. We want to see you in the next game. So I ended up playing like 5 periods of hockey that night. But it was like the white team. I don't know how I remember this, but it was like the white team. They're like, yeah, this team hasn't won a game all week. And we were, pumping whatever, the blue team or whatever, like 6-2. And so he sends me off, and then I just go and I stayed like half dressed and hung out in the locker room, talked with the guys. I bump into a guy that I've known since I was 11 years old, played against him all the way up through Pete Frigo. He played at Providence College and then played a little bit in the minors and everything. Frigo's out there. I'm like, what the hell? Like, what are you doing here? He's like, what are you doing here?
You're like, I'll play here if you are.
Yeah, it was. He had played there the year before, so it was just crazy. Like, and that was kind of like where it really kind of opened the door. Where like, man, this is like a legit.
I got to make this step. It's time.
Yeah,
and you almost had a buddy to lean on to make.
Well, that's what made the transition so good for me, was having like familiar faces there and everything. Like, growing up in Northern New York, for us, it was you went across the border and you played in the CJ. Right, you played, you played, you played in, Nepean and Cornwall and like all those towns. But I had played junior B during my junior year of high school. I played junior B in Gananoque, Ontario. Danny Ford, who was my coach as like a Bantam, he grew up in Potsdam, and he came to me and he's like, all these guys, these high school players from, Potsdam, Messina, Ogdensburg, they all like double up their season and play in this junior B league across the border. He's like, if there's a conflict, you play for your high school team, but
just more games for you.
Yeah. Well, and not only that, like, man, I showed up there as a 16-year-old. Like Danny went over and watched like a playoff game and then requested like a meeting with the GM, Wilf Johnson. And he's like, I got an American kid that's going to come over here and you're going to love him. And Wilfie's, yeah, whatever. Like, send him. You know what I mean? And so I show up and, the first day, like he comes down to the glass after the first day of tryouts and he's like, can you come back tomorrow? Nice. And I was like, well, yeah, it's a tryout. So like, I figured that like, I'll stay here until you tell me to leave, kind of thing. Right. Like, but it was 96 miles one way. So like me and my dad, my mom, like, Dennis and Sherry and I, we logged some serious highway time, like up and down 81,
That's
going to the Alex Bay border.
2 hours home.
Like it was, and then the snowstorms. Like, so like, it was legit. Like, but I went there my junior year and I'm 16. Like the captain of the team's 21. He's married. He's got a kid. He's got a little baby. You know what I mean? Like I'm worried about earth science. You know what I mean? Like it was crazy. Like I was like,
Well,
good
so
Lord.
were you always a bit of a clown, like in class and shit? Because, like, I mean, from our time with you, you tend to do a lot of pranks. You talked about.
Yeah, you gave me a Charlie horse yesterday. That hurt.
That was a love tap.
That affected my swing, I think. No
Were you-
excuses.
You were having trouble getting over to your left side
I mean,
after that.
we've already joked about the Carey pricing. Were you the guy in the locker room keeping things loose?
Not as much as other guys. Like I definitely like. I feel like I got a good sense of humor and like a lot of sarcasm and just like being in any locker room, like that's the stuff you miss.
Oh,
like you miss so much, like hanging out with the guys. You know, like Sean Hill for me, who just moved back to the area. He's one of the funniest guys I have ever met. Like my golf crew here in Carolina and guys that I've become friends with, like away from the game, they thank me like weekly for introducing Sean Hill to
Is
them.
that funny?
He's honestly,
Will he come on the show?
He 100% would, and he's got great stories.
Number
I mean,
22, defenseman, block shots, played hard as shit.
He was mean.
Yeah,
he had that TPS, that yellow TPS like stick, and it was like 120 flex, and this dude would just rocket one timers like. But
Was
he
he
was
on the
just
Cup
he was
winning
mean.
team?
He didn't.
he was on the team that
man.
lost to Detroit.
Yeah, he was on the team that lost in Detroit, and you know we've had this conversation where it was right before the lockout, and he called me up. So I roomed with him. Like he was my roommate. He was the guy that kind of taught me how to be a pro.
Yeah,
And when we didn't re-sign him, man, I was mad about it. Like I was just like, I was upset. He called me and he's like, I wish I could tell you they made it, you know, hard on me. He's like, but they didn't. Like,
yeah, it was more just hey.
well, because we were going into the 04 lockout. So right,
24% rollback.
Bettman's ready to shut the season down. Like everybody's just, you know, cutting costs and everything like that. And it was hard. Like he went to Florida, and you know we talked about it after the fact, and he's like, you know, I never regretted that decision until you fuckers won the cup. And I was like, man, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But like who knows what would have happened? Like, because of, you know, you think about all the things that transpired, and you know, we came out of that lockout, and then, you know, Mike Commodore impressed, you know, the GM so much in his time in Lowell because we were sharing with Calgary, and he got to know like Stalzy, Wardo, like all those guys that, you know, got to play in the minors. For me, I went over to Berlin and played, and it was the best thing I ever did in my career. Like I couldn't like
to keep moving during the lockout.
like I mean,
100%.
I was 20. I think I was 24 years old, turned 25 like during that lockout year, and it was like, I'm like, man, I can't take a year off and not playing, and they wouldn't let me go to the minors. I'd been in the league for, you know, 3 years or whatever it was.
That would have crushed.
And it was just,
it wouldn't have been good.
It would have been awful for me to take like an entire year off. And I played with a guy in the minors, Stefan Ustorf, who's a German, and his dad like coached in Berlin when he was a kid and everything. And we played in Cincinnati.
You were in the IHL.
IHL. Never played in the A. Played in the IHL, which was amazing. Just
Didn't
because
your team like fold?
Oh man, we went bankrupt. The whole league was shutting down. Like it was if you've seen Bull Durham and like that silver bullet like bus, like that's what we started taking to like travel 2.5 hours from Cincy to get a better or cheaper flight out of like Louisville, Kentucky to like go down to Orlando and play the Solar Bears. Like it was ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like I think at one point like we had to pull over on the side of the road because we were just leaking oil all over the highway. You know what I mean? Then we had to sit there and wait for a new bus to come
I
get
played
us.
in the coast.
Like,
I've
exactly.
been on
Like
plenty of buses that broke
like
down
we've all,
away games.
everyone's got stories like this, right?
Yeah.
Like it was.
So this guy ended up convincing you to come over there during the lockout?
Yeah. So we talked about it in Cincy. He's like, when that lockout happens, he said, you call me. I'll make sure we save one of the import cards for you. And my wife at the time and, you know, his wife were really good friends. And so it was just, it made sense, right? So I get this contract offer. Peter Lee, he's an Ottawa guy. He's over there in Berlin, and he's like, you know, love to have you. Like Steph says, you know, that, you know, you're the guy that we need to bring in and everything. He's like, but here's the deal. If you sign over here, you have to stay even if the NHL starts back up. I said, done deal.
Really?
100%.
But you were under were you not under?
I was under contract with the Hurricanes, but they were like, they had us locked out. So in my mind, I'm like, well, if they're locking me out, like I'm free to do whatever I choose. And if I make this other commitment, like right now, they're not honoring my commitment, right?
Yes,
Like,
I
I signed a contract, but we're not playing. So I agree to the terms and everything. I take a meeting with Jim Rutherford just to go in and tell him, hey, this is what's happening, and I've got to go, and I've got to be there for the whole year. It's not a knock on what we're doing here. Like I believe in what we're doing here. I love it here. I got family here.
I want to play.
I want to be here. But I told him, like, I'm 24. Like, I can't not play hockey for a year.
Yeah, and then you guys can't guarantee me that, so I'm going to go do this.
And he's like, hey, don't worry, the whole season's going down.
Well, yeah, he didn't say no. He literally went into like trying to explain to me like how it was all going to work. And I was a PA guy. Like I was always like an assistant rep or rep, and you know what I mean. So I was an informed
You're
player.
very vocal about the CBA stuff. We'll get to that later.
Like 100%. Like I was one of the informed guys. Kevin Adams brought me into that world really early in my career. Like I was a college guy, so he's like, you need to be involved in all this. And we had like really good like college guys in Carolina, Craig Adams, you know what I mean? Like so we had really good
big brain action.
Exactly.
Not guys with like fake degrees.
Knucklehead.
Or did you even get your degree?
No.
But
he
neither
left.
did Colsey. And
Whoa.
You went back and graduated?
No.
There you go. We both did 3 years.
I've had this conversation with my mother where she's
I
like,
promised my parents.
Well,
don't make promises like that.
We should go
I
back
know.
there because we kind of skipped over to Carolina, and there's plenty of Carolina stuff. So you said that you committed to Clarkson before you ended up committing to Des Moines.
to Des Moines. I didn't know where I was going to play my senior year of high school.
Why Clark? Why did you decide there?
Man, it's 2.5, not even 2.5 hours from my hometown.
They had a good
I
program.
I grew up like playing in that arena, like as a 10, 11, 12-year-old. And for me, like Clarkson hockey was the shit. Like I was like, man, like what a dream it would be, and like, because, at that time, it's a pipe dream, right? Small town, Northern New York, like,
yeah, you're not even thinking about the NHL.
You're not, like, I mean, like obviously like that's the big dream, but there's steps that go through it. Like in the 6th grade, they, it was like, ask the graduating class of 6th grade, like what they're going to be doing in like 2004. I was like, I'll be playing hockey for the Pittsburgh Penguins.
That was your squad?
I was a big Mario fan, which is like it's crazy to think about like how I was such a big Penguins fan. The year my sister was in Pittsburgh attending school was the lockout in like 93. So I never got to like go down there and like watch a game. Like I was pissed, but Mellon Arena, I'll never forget when we were dropping her off. My dad, took me down there and I got to walk in and, see the arena and the setup. And
this is where Mario
but it
plays.
ends up being the place that I get my neck broken.
I was in that. I was in that game.
Like such weird.
Jeez, that got
like,
dark quick there.
Yeah. Well, okay. Like, grow up. Like, you know what I mean?
Hey,
like,
it was his neck, biz.
it wasn't yours.
It was another guy we've had on the podcast, Brooks Orpik.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I remember that game.
It was, but I'm just saying it was, with the whole Clarkson thing, I just, from the time I was 14, 15, whatever it was, and the assistant athletic director, Steve Yonikis, I played against his kid. His kid played for Potsdam hockey. And I played a game against him, and he asked my dad if he could speak to me. So he, calls Dennis over and wants to talk to me after the game. And Dennis is like, well, yeah, you can talk to him, but like, I want to be there. And he's like, yeah, that's fine. And he just told me, he's like, focus on your schoolwork, get good grades. He goes, I guarantee you there's going to be a scholarship waiting for you at the end of the road.
That must be the best thing ever to hear.
Well, I mean, at the same time, you're a little skeptical about it, but like, at least it's like, okay, what I'm doing's it's something, right? And I was so sheltered there in Oswego, like to the point of like finally going to Des Moines, like camp, and I'm there one night, right? Like my recruiting opened up like that July. Guess who the first 2 teams were that were in-home visits at my parents' house? UNH and Providence.
Oh,
The two coaches that were up there with Scott Owens watching that camp. Like literally both those teams were at my parents' house Monday, Wednesday.
And you didn't even have any
I
desire.
didn't entertain it one bit.
Yeah,
like
well,
it's like I literally sat there and like waited for the phone call from Clarkson that didn't happen until like a week and a half later, which like at one point I think I was like, what the fuck?
I don't know
You know
much
what I mean?
about.
Like-
I don't know much about universities. Good school.
Yeah, I mean it's in the ECAC, right?
Yeah, ECAC.
They have a good
so we
they've got a good
played
hockey
all
program.
the one of the draws about it is hockey's the only D1 sport. Everything else is D3. So like it's legit like the hockey team gets a lot of the funding and
ladies.
well it's
I know what you're trying to say.
yeah you got me. So anyway, but I never wanted to go anywhere else. Like Cornell called me and they told me like, yeah, we'd love to have you. We want to get you to campus. We're gonna need you to retake the SATs. I'm like, I don't think this is gonna work. I was like,
did they make
hard
you
no.
guys do like anything for initiation coming into college? Was it a
Back
you know
then
what,
it was
not like-
probably legit.
like I mean you don't like.
were you not allowed to talk about it? Is it like a cult thing?
Like what? Like
It's the skulls.
don't try and sit here and tell me like you didn't get hazed.
No, they.
Oh,
in the
yeah.
day. Like it happened. Like it's something that's now been outed and everyone recognizes that it's not something that should ever
Okay,
happen
we can move
again.
on,
But
sorry.
like yeah, like
It was just different.
like the coaching staffs at the front of the bus, like they it's not like they had their noise canceling fucking Bose headphones on and they didn't see us doing an elephant walk up the fucking up the bus into the pisser where we gotta untie our tracksuits and put them back on before we can get out, and the thing's like just laden with piss. Like the head coach went and peed all over the. You know what I mean? Like this
Oh
is
my
like this is
God.
like
Oh, thinking
like
back,
I like
that's
it's I like
disgusting.
I feel like it was kind of like I just assumed this is what it was. Like it happened everywhere, and I think it was a real like big wake up call for me. Like it was junior year because Vermont lost their whole season.
Yes.
Because they had a hazing incident, and when I will say like when I did get on campus and everything, it was much tamer. Like there was an incident at like a frat house that had happened the year before, so like it was just starting to come into where people were talking about it.
Well,
You know what I
yeah, it
mean?
was
Like
gonna
we
end.
were talking about it and recognizing how wrong it was, but like before that, it was just this is what we do. Like I can remember, like I had a senior captain one night we're at like a function for like with like the girls soccer team, and they're making the rookies do whatever and drink, and I'm standing there with like an old duels, like I'm not drinking, right? Like I got picked up for a DUI like freshman year of college.
You got one?
First month of school.
Oh my God.
I wanted to go home and see my buddy went out to Des Moines. He was coming back home, and I'm like, I'm leaving Friday night after the captain's practice, and they're like, you can't go anywhere. I'm like, what do you mean? Well, we got a function. We're going here. I'm like, well, I'm not drinking. And sure enough, you show up this party, they're making you do a pitcher funnel, and you're getting called out and drinking and all this stuff. I went back to my dorm room for 2 hours, just crushed waters, and then at like midnight tried to make the drive 2 hours to my house, and bad decision.
Oh my
I was
God.
an 18-year-old kid, bad decision, right? Like, but at the same time, like I was a little pissed off. Like, they tell me I have to be at this thing, and then Chris Clark, who's the captain of the team, wasn't even at the party. He was out with his girlfriend, who's now his wife. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, well, wait a minute. Like, why did like
That shows how wrong
it's
that
just
stuff
like
was.
it was just but when you're 18, 19 years old and you've got Scott Reekie, this like 22-year-old, 23-year-old senior fucking barking at you. You're
time to
like,
do the elephant walk
well,
down
Jesus Christ, yeah. Well, yeah, they're slapping you with the belts and the shoes. Like, yeah, it's a lot of fun.
No, last night you told me about. We're getting away from that subject. But
Like I'm all over the place.
No,
like,
so are we.
We get it.
We
yeah.
can tell though.
Yeah.
So we got to.
I blame you guys for that, by the way.
Yeah, it's our fault.
Yeah.
Last
And
night
the high birdie.
we were talking about the IHL,
And then you told me when you went back the next year to camp, you said, I'm making Carolina.
Yeah.
Like there was no doubt in your mind. And then that ended up being your rookie season. But they had no expectation to you making the team, you said.
Not that year. The year before, when I left college and I went out to Cincy, and I'll never forget it. Like Gilbert Dion was the captain of my team out in Cincy. How about that for a name, right?
That's where he was playing then?
Yeah. Like my second year there, he was like assistant coach / player, like insane. So I show up out there for my first, pro game, and all the brass came into town. So like all the guys are in the locker room. Ooh, yeah. Hey, look at this kid. He's got all the brass coming to watch him. Like, and whatever. It was fine. Like I played well. I played 9 games. And then played in the playoffs, but I was in and out of the lineup in the playoffs, and fine, right? But we were down in Orlando, and I go to step on the elevator. Who's there? Jim Rutherford, and I'm like, oh,
yeah, is this bad or good?
Should I take the stairs? You know what I mean? Take the stairs from now on. I always take the stairs, but so I step onto this elevator, and he told me they're real happy with like how I've come in and left school and made the transition, and fully expect me to make the team out of training camp next year. So I'm 21 years old. I'm engaged to my fiance. I'm getting married that summer. I just signed pro contract. You know what I mean? Like, and shit's just moving. Like it's happening, right? Like literally a week after I got married, I had to be down in Carolina for like that rookie hell week back in the day, like where it was just a week-long beatdown. And then Pete Friesen, who is our strength and conditioning coach / like athletic trainer, he got wind of how my sister lived in Garner. And he's like, well, the best thing for you to do is to just stay down here and train with these guys. And so I got guilted into staying down here in Carolina, living with my sister. And that's when I first get the introduction to Rod Brind'Amour, and I'll never forget the first time I walked up on this cat, like stop me in my tracks. Like I was walking into the arena and he was walking out, and I just, minding my own business walking, and then like I pop my head up and there he is. And I'm like, oh my God, like, hey, like, how are you? And he was awesome, right? Roddy's one of the best. Not just in that moment, several moments in my career. Like he was amazing. Even to this day, like he's one of like just the greatest friends and like teammates you could ever ask for. Like this, I mean, just, this summer, like he's, he pulls me aside. Hey, like, guys are worried about you. You doing okay? Like what's going on? Like, it's just little things like that. But it was that, that moment where I first met him, and I was like in awe, right? But then I got to spend that whole next month like training with him.
Oh, so you saw it in action.
And in my head, I'm like, just stay half a step behind him. Like don't don't step on any toes, right? Like you just stay. If I'm a half a step behind Rod Brind'Amour, I'm doing okay, right? Like if he's here and I'm just half a step behind him.
So you basically credit you making the NHL that next season.
You didn't even make it that next year, right?
I didn't. So I played so scared and everything. That first training camp, I was so intimidated, and like it was just I played to just not make any mistakes. I wasn't assertive whatsoever. Didn't play with confidence, nothing, right? And I didn't even make it through the first cut. Going down to the minors. And the awful thing was we used to start our training camp down in Florida. So we'd be like on location down at Fort Myers because Carmanis owned the Everglades or Everblades. And so we would start training camp down there, and it's like a little Florida swing. And it was a bus ride from the hotel to Florida to play the Panthers. I'll never forget, like Pat Burry, I don't even think he ever came in the D zone. Like he just, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm like, this is crazy. Like I was just, I was just scared to death, right? Like just didn't play, like didn't think I played like I didn't belong, right? Like I didn't believe that I should be there is basically how I played. And at the end of that game, so I took the team bus over there, And then that team bus was going to be the bus going to the charter plane to bring everybody back to Raleigh. The other bus was going to the fucking Hampton Inn or whatever the hotel was. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, Cockroach Motel. And you're flying out, to Cincinnati the next day or whatever it was. And I get told this after the game. You get your workout in. You're in South Florida. You're sweating your balls off the whole time. Like, it's just the most miserable conversation ever. And then to make matters worse, I've got to go get on that bus and walk to toward the back of the bus to get all my bags.
Oh, and then
and
walk
everything.
Back. Yeah, that's.
And they're all on the bus, making their way back to Raleigh, still part of training camp, and I've got tears welling up in my eyes, and I'm just trying to hold it. I'm trying to hold it together, right? Because I didn't live up to the expectation, right?
Oh, okay.
I feel like I let myself down, let my parents down, wife, you know what I mean? Everything. It was I was just mad at myself and upset with myself. And of course, I'm coming off the bus, and we all know these buses. There's only one little laneway. Roddy Brind'Amour's coming on the bus, and he's told this story a couple different times. So Luke DeCock here, in the area, he writes for the News and Observer. Luke, this is his favorite story. I come walking, I'm heading off the bus, and Roddy comes on. He's obviously the last guy on because he had to do a 30-minute bike ride as opposed to everyone else's 10 or 15. And he's like, "Hey man, what's up?" And I'm like, I got clip. I'm headed to the minors. And he's like kind of snaps me out of it. He's like, "That's all right. Hey, it's not a big deal." He's like, you just fucking keep working. And because he'd seen me train with him that whole August. You know what I mean? So Roddy, he saw how hard I was working, how hard I was doing everything off the ice. And he's like, this kid's got it. So he encouraged me, and he's like, "It's all right, right? Hey, guys, go and play in the minors." He's like, "No big deal." He's like, "Go there, fucking keep working your ass off. You'll be back here before you know it." And and I'm literally, and he'll say, I'm it was awful.
Did it immediately make you feel better?
I mean, not in that moment.
Yeah,
when you look back at it, 100%, you're man, I'm so thankful for him. And and as it turned out, the next year.
Next year's when you told me I'm not playing. I'm playing.
That was when I showed up. I showed up so determined, and it was
Is that when the BBC line was formed between Bates, Battaglia, and Rod the Bod?
That was that year.
That was the year.
The big black cock line.
Was it right out of camp you guys were playing together?
No, it wasn't until late November. I started out with Marty Jelena and Roddy.
And Francis was on that team?
Yeah, the Ron.
What was it like to be around? Yeah, the Ron.
The Ron. It's
quiet legend.
Well, the locker room presence. It's just he doesn't have to say much. He wasn't a big, speech guy or whatever. He was, he was pretty quiet and always calm, and just it's why anyone that ever played with Ronnie always knew he'd be in the position he's in right now.
Okay.
Just such
just follow the league.
Such a great hockey mind. Just everything about him, the way he carried himself. Yeah.
Was he the guy doing crosswords in the room?
I don't know that. Yes, actually, he was.
It's a pretty good call.
Well, because he looks like a smart guy.
I was a crossword guy, but I can just. I had a flashback to on the team plane where Sean Hill and Ronnie are working on the crossword together, and I remember looking over at them when they were saying something, and Hilly's like, "You just mind your own bobber over there. Don't worry about what we're doing over here." But that rookie year, it was just me. I was the only rookie on the team.
What
so
rookie party cost you?
Honestly, Ronnie let me off the hook. It was
fuck
because we didn't. Yeah, but we didn't, and we never did a rookie dinner on the road during the season. And I was a different kind of rookie. I showed up married, kid. You know what I mean? Paul Maurice said it to me halfway through October. I'm still living in the hotel. I didn't get a place here in Raleigh until mid-November. They kept me in the hotel, so every day you're on edge. Yeah. And I'm I've got a 4-month-old baby sleeping in a pack and play. Thank God my sister lived here, because every time we went on the road, my wife would take take Bella over to my sister's house and they'd have like, some comfort. But it was just, you're on edge. And I showed up on video one morning. Not good. Like the worst kind of video. Like
it's the worst feeling.
Like just blatant, like we got scored on because this motherfucker missed an assignment. And I'm like, shit.
I'm going down.
There, right? Yeah. Like honestly,
at what point did the team start getting really good when you came in? Like who were the core guys? I remember you saying like Ray Whitney when he was in the mix.
Well, so that wasn't until after the lockout, but like the groundwork started honestly when Sean Hill got traded back from St. Louis. When they brought in Hilly in December of that 01 to 02 season, that was kind of, for me, that was the beginning of it, like in Carolina. Like that was when we ended up making the big push to the Cup Finals that year.
Urbe was in that, right?
Urbe and Kevin Weeks. Like Weeksy played unreal for us. Like he was in Tampa, and we traded for him, and he those two shared time. Like even during the playoff run, like Weeksy made the most incredible save in the New Jersey series, like in overtime on John Madden, like empty net. Like all he's got to do is just bury it, and somehow it ends up in Kevin Weeks' glove. Like it was insane. But like that relationship between like the organization and the fans all started that year. Like
it was a special run.
Bananas around here. Like
Maurice was young, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was like 36 or whatever. Like he was. I mean, he was the youngest coach for a long time. Everywhere you drove, like it was the flags on the windows, like of the cars, and like you anywhere you went, like I'd go to the Home Depot and people were pointing you out. Like it was the first time that the area had a pro sports team and success with it. And then you punch in like the Southern hospitality and the tailgating and what it was like, the atmosphere, because it's like got that college town feel where it's the rivalries, and you know what I mean? It's almost like the fans here welcome like the Northerners. Like they welcome the Detroit fans or the Buffalo fans or Rangers or Boston, whatever. They're like, yeah, come on. Like Toronto. Like that Toronto series, man, we were in the locker room and you could just hear like the energy out there. Like Toronto fans, because it was cheaper for Toronto fans to fly down here, get a hotel room, and get a ticket to our game than it was to try and get a ticket in the ACC, right? Like it was just crazy. So it was like that first year just made it like so incredible. The fans started showing up like at the airport. Like we're flying in, we had like a crap team plane at that point, and so we're not getting in until 2:30 in the morning. And next thing you know, we got 50 fans out there waiting for us to get home at 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah, feeling like rock
stars. And then it's 100. So and then it's 200, 300. Like it was crazy.
It had never been like that before?
No. Well, I mean, I only know what I know because I hadn't been here before. It was my rookie year.
Well, just from feeling the vibe from the other guys who'd been around.
It definitely wasn't like that the year before.
That, the 6th year that the team was there?
Not even. Because they moved here in 97.
Yeah, so 5th season.
But they started out having to play games in Greensboro. I mean, while the arena was being built. So like, so there was like that real disconnect for the first couple of years. I think they called it Green Acres over there in Greensboro because of the green seats and they were empty.
Like what are some pretty classic stories that haven't been told from those teams? Anything that sticks out from you? I know we talked about the fact that you used to be a bit of a pranker. Where the fork story, but that was not.
That's later. That's later in my career. I think I was smart enough early in my career, and
you were keeping your.
But I also, I was still I would barb anybody right back. Like Jeff O'Neill and I had a great kind of relationship like that, where this guy.
Jeff O'Neill, the one who's on TSN?
Yeah, the doctor.
Oh, yeah, he's a fucking...
He's a beauty, right?
He's the funniest guy
obviously,
on radio.
one of my favorites, and I'm living in the hotel, and you're at practice, and he'd be in the line across the way with you, and he'd look over, and he'd make eye contact with you and see that it's you, and he'd go... And then he'd be trying to pretend like he was trying to shovel somebody else in front of him so he didn't have to go with you on a 2-on-1. You're like, fuck you, oh, fucking asshole. But he'd give me shit like all the time. Like we get done with practice and like, you're grabbing some water and we're going to play rebound or we're going to do like some extra work like after the practice. And he'd come over to me and he'd be like, you were fucking terrible today. I was like, oh. I'm like,
didn't matter how your practice was. He was coming over to tell you that.
You're like, I'm already panicking. I'm in a hotel,
bro. I'm taking Sudafed fucking before practice so I can fucking snap. Like I can't have a bad day. Thank you. I can't have a bad day out here. Right?
Hey, that's so true.
It was like
my first year in
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
Were like games at the beginning.
Yeah,
like,
you don't want to.
You're scared to death.
Oh,
and if you have a good one, you're like, oh, I gotta wait till tomorrow.
Well, we had Terry in too. So if you missed the pass,
oh my god,
he would blow it down.
You played from in Montreal, right?
Oh yeah.
Hey, so no, quick. I don't want to get away from this because last night I was telling you that in that amazing run, your rookie year, you go to the Cup Finals. You play against maybe one of the best teams of all time, the Detroit Red Wings.
It was insane.
It was
insane.
And I was at Game 3, and actually, I think Igor Larionov scored in the corner I was standing in, triple overtime, and I was telling him all this. Like, sorry to tell you, he's like, dude, I was on the ice.
Yeah, I was like, thanks a lot, asshole. Yeah,
he says in the picture, he's right next to him.
You want to kick my dog when you're
you said it was amazing to see, like a little intimidated?
No. So I got to the point that year, and I learned this right away. End of training camp. Like so I made it from the Florida cut back to Raleigh. I remember sitting in my sister's living room, and I was like, well, I made it back here. Now I got to figure out a way to stay here. And it was not an easy road. I mean, we had 9/11 that year. Like shit was just sideways right from the start. Like when training camp happened, 9/11 happened, and we show up at the rink, and there was like 11 of us from Cincinnati the year before that had come to town and trained with, the last couple days. But Byron Ritchie and I had been there since like early August. He was living with Shane Willis. I was living with my sister. And we show up the first day, and we got 12 guys on the ice, 11 guys on the ice. And then we get out of the locker room to go do our work with Pete Friesen, like off ice. And it's literally the team from last year. And they're running like just an early season practice, 2-on-1 back check. Like
a captain's
just,
practice.
yeah, like
you're not even skating.
They were just, we're not even on the ice with them. Like
who's going to make this team?
Byron Ritchie turned to me and he's like, are you as pissed off as I am? I'm like, what are you talking? He's like, they're not even going to give us a fucking chance.
Yeah.
And I looked, and I didn't look at it that way. Like, I was just like, man, this is what I got to do. This is what I got to do. Like our practice was fucking, they threw the puck in the corner and they were like, one of you come out with it. You know what I mean? Like, it was just, you had to battle your ass off against like guys that were your teammates
and
the year before. Yeah. Like, and now like, the next
Here's
year,
a piece of meat.
To get to that,
you'll fight for your piece of meat.
To get to the,
honestly,
get out
that's
of
what it was.
Cincy,
Like,
I don't care.
who's going to eat and who isn't? You know what I mean? Like, it was like, and that's how like the first like 10 days of that training camp was, because we were all on lockdown. Half the guys and half the staff was in Florida, and we were here in Raleigh. But all the flights were grounded. You know what I mean? Like, it was just, it was weird. You know what I mean? And like, and for me at the time, like, I got a newborn, I got a wife, like I'm playing for something. And I like Steve Bartlett, my agent, like he tried to kind of like temper my expectations about it. Like when I was heading down, and he was like, just go in and, work as hard as you can. And I don't think he was even expecting me to make the team. Right. And I was just hell bent. Like I was so determined. But that's how I had to play. Like that's why they kept me here. And I played a very kind of, just north-south style, especially early on in my career. Like I was just
everybody from stuff I was reading, you were pretty fast. I don't remember you being that fast.
Well, I mean, you had a nice seat. You had a nice seat from the bench. Like why? Like I don't understand.
Well, there wasn't streaming services back then. I don't know how many Carolina games were on television.
But I'm just saying, like, I mean, it's not like you were on the ice next.
You know
to
what it was? Here's the thing. You know what it was? It was probably that.
I remember you were on
the
bench watching me.
It was probably the horrible style you had with those fucking socks over the back.
Like, I don't.
Did he not have one of the?
I don't understand.
Well, the lines on your socks instead of the middle of your legs, they'd be down near your ankles. You must have pulled your socks down.
There's probably people who saw your name.
My legs look longer.
Yeah. There's probably people who saw your name pop pop up, and because of your gear wear, refuse to click the listen
You had the
button.
gray
Yeah, you know
tux on the vapor skate.
Hey, listen, like, but okay. So
But you
here's the thing.
buzzed.
I
You
think you
buzzed.
might be top 10 worst styles ever in National Hockey League.
0%.
No,
Brunelli,
I
get
think
a
I was
Twitter
worse.
poll
I think I was
0%.
worse.
Yeah. I honestly, I do want that. No, 100% false information.
Let's get a
right
Hey,
there.
you
picture
no,
and put it
and-
online. Like, is
you
it
talk-
good or bad gear
here's the other
wear?
thing.
You
With-
talked about all these
with the-
coaches
with
that
the
cared
skate-
about you.
with
Did
the
they not
skate
ever
blades.
tell you to not do what you were doing with your socks over the back of your skate like that?
No.
And who did?
Like,
how did you learn how to get dressed?
Why did you not want your, like, I don't know, like maybe you weren't in the
You know
league
what?
at the
It
time
looked
when we
like-
had the knit socks.
Remember
but
those
I was
things?
I was in the league when we had the knit socks, and those knit
I
socks.
had 1 year.
That shit protected the back of your legs, right? Like, why do you think we had so many? No, why do you think everybody wears cut-proof
You're
socks
basically
now?
you're comparing the old socks to Kevlar socks for your Achilles.
Basically, is what
But they weren't
were.
like-
So you
Think about what they were.
So for fans at
So
home
just, yeah,
listening,
put 'em
the
all
reason he
down.
had the worst gear wear in NHL history was to protect his Achilles. Fair enough.
Guys. Safety never takes a holiday. Don't ever forget that. And so if you're gonna wear your socks and
weighs
make sure
40
that you don't
pounds.
slice your Achilles tendon, I'm gonna do it.
Was there
I'm
not a
good.
story about when you guys did a skill? Was it a skill practice or like a blue and red game where you like nobody knew how fast you were, so you had to go in the fastest lap?
Oh no. Okay. So Rod Brind'Amour said this to me one time where because I was supposed to do like the Young Stars game actually I was supposed to do it my rookie year, and the league called back and said we need more defensemen, so they took David Tanabe, and all the veteran guys like on the team were pissed. Jeff O'Neill being one of them, Ronnie Francis, like they were like, what the fuck? Like, why isn't our guy getting any recognition? And Jimmy told Ronnie the story, and Ronnie's like, well, like I'm gonna tell him that. He's like you were picked for it. It would have been out in LA, but that year was crazy because we did All-Star break and Olympics. So that's why the season was a nightmare. That's why we didn't do a rookie dinner like anywhere on the road because it was
In Salt
like,
Lake
man,
City,
you were
right?
all over the place. No, it was.
Do you think it's because they saw the way you wore
was
your gear and they
before
just said we can't have this
I
guy?
don't
in the
think so.
All-Star
I
Youngsters?
think that actually that was the reason they wanted me was because of the way I wore my socks. That's
is
what I heard.
all over
I mean, it's
your
Gary
gear,
Gary Bettman's words, not mine.
So did you do? So
I didn't do the rookie thing that year, and I didn't care. Like I wanted the break. Like I needed the break. Like I was, I'm like I've got a 7-month-old at home. Like I'm doing, when I get home off the road trip, like I'm going home waiting for her to wake up, do the like middle of the night feeding, and then my wife Emily would sleep through the night and get up with her in the morning so I could sleep in a little bit before heading to practice. Like that was kind of like the routine. So for me, like I was like, man, I don't need to be a part of that. But then the next year I was supposed to be a part of it. It was down in Florida, and I broke my leg in Tampa like literally the night before. Like Jeff O'Neill and I were going to take a limo like from Florida or from Tampa over to Florida for All-Star weekend, and his girlfriend and my wife had already flown there, everything. So it never happened. But so Rod Brind'Amour had asked me one time, and he's like, have you ever done that? Like the fastest skater thing? I said, I did it in junior hockey in Des Moines. And I was like, I just kind of was going through the motions. I was like, I think I could have done it a little better. And he's like, I think you'd be really good at that. And then a couple years later is when I was in Edmonton, and they do one for like the fans.
Yeah, they have the
so it's
skills
like
day.
So Whit, you played there, like
Yep.
you know what it's like.
Yep.
Like
I was getting booed at the
I don't
old
understand
team
why
skills
I don't
day.
understand why every team doesn't do something like that. Like the whole thing, it was like
I know.
Ronald McDonald like House Charity is what it was like supporting, and I was like this is awesome. Like why wouldn't they do this in Carolina? And it's like, well, maybe people wouldn't show up. I don't know. Like I would think that they would. They definitely would now. I think back then I questioned it. Now I think 100% they would.
You could get at least 10,000 in there.
At least lower bowl, right? Like bring them all in, bring the kids in. Like it'd be amazing, and you run the skills competition. And so we did that in Edmonton. So I did it in Edmonton. That was the first year I'd like ever done it, and like it started kind of like a buzz, like the week before, week and a half, and everyone was saying how Cogliano was so fast, and all this stuff. But like those guys in Edmonton, like Ray Whitney, I get traded to Edmonton. He sees Kelly Buchberger out at like lunch in Edmonton, and he's like, "Oh man, you guys are gonna love Colsey. Like he's, you know, like the speed down the wing and all this." And Bucky's like, "Oh, he's fast," and Witt's like, "Yeah, he's kind of fast."
That tells you everything you
And
need
they
to know
were
about
like-
Edmonton Oilers scouts.
Well, they were like, well, he's an assistant coach, and they're like, "Oh, well, he can't be faster than Cogliano." And Witt's like, "Well, I don't know who this Cogliano kid is, but he's like, there's no way he's fucking faster than Colsey. Like, he might be as fast, but he's not faster than him." And Ray warned me about that, like, and it was like, man, it was one of those moments where I just put my head in my hands. I was like, what? Like, what is going on? Like, what am I walking into?
I'm watching this right now.
And
You are buzzing on this lap. There's like a guy who recorded it right in the corner, and you slipped too, kind of.
Oh yeah, turn 4, I almost bit it. Like it probably would have been a little quicker. I think I would have
13.1.
I think I would have been
Jesus.
sub 13 if I hadn't, like, that cone, the cone in turn 4 like scared me. I was like, oh shit, like literally like almost bit it. But
Let's go back to like when you guys end up winning the cup, like just the parties, the celebration, the growth of the game here. Just like talk about the
And you
festivities.
were on the Oilers that year and then played them in the Cup final.
no,
What is this?
buddy? It was a couple years after.
Oh,
like
okay.
ask me how
You ended
uncomfortable. Ask me how uncomfortable that was.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
like no, like you beat these guys in the cup finals in 06. and but mind you, like,
Is that what he said?
like in my
Oh, thanks.
and
looking out for
in
you.
my defense though, like I only played the last 2 games of the finals in that year.
'Cause that's
Like,
when you
and
got
it
your
was
neck- you hurt
'cause
your
that
neck.
was I was coming back from the neck injury. Like I didn't want to do surgery or anything like that. Like because I wanted the chance to play. Like, and honestly, like game 5, thank God Fernando Pisani scored. I never
never
would have
would've
been in
got
the
a game.
lineup. I never would have fucking stepped on the ice to be a small part of that cup win.
I know,
Like,
but you
and
came back in,
I literally I debated whether I was even going to touch it.
but you came back in with a chance to win the Cup in Edmonton, and you guys got trounced.
Oh, we got smoked.
You must have been like, am I going to be in for Game
Buddy,
7?
100% I was going to be in, but
Okay.
like my legs were like seizing. Like the day before, I had to fly to Colorado and back on a private jet just to get a CT scan. Nobody in Edmonton would okay like a
Wow.
CT scan and all this. They kept we got canceled on like 4 times trying to get a CT scan for me. But if Doug Waite didn't get hurt in Game 5, and this literally all started halfway to Edmonton. I think we stopped, like the plane stopped, and I think we had to let our general manager off for like a kidney stone. Like Jim Rutherford had to like emergency to the hospital for like a kidney stone on the way to Edmonton. And I walked up to the front. Dougie Waite's on the plane, but like his shoulders like, you know, down where his elbow should be. And so I walked up in front of the plane, and I said to Jeff Daniels, I said, "Hey Jake," I said, when Lavi comes back in, like off the phone call, ask him who's taking Waiter's place, like in the lineup. Tell him to let me know. And so, sure as shit, as soon as we got above 10,000 feet, Lavi, straight to the back of the plane, interrupts the Schnarples game. And he's like, when was your last CT scan? I was like, you know, just a little less than a month ago, because I got shut down. Like we tried several times. Like I was supposed to come back in the Buffalo series. Like I left Buffalo after Game 3, come home, CT scan, to hopefully get good news that I could come back in the Buffalo series and play. Didn't work out, wasn't healed enough, and they're like, you know what, that's it. Like, we're shutting you down. No more CT scans. Like, your thyroid gland's gonna burst like at any moment here because I've been doing so many, and it was just hard. It was hard. It was heartbreaking for me. I can remember like just being in tears at my house and watching Game 4, and that was when Gerbs came back in and pitched a shutout against, you know, the Sabres, like 4-0. You know what I mean? It was like so things like that. Like, but it was just such a tough like road, especially when I'd been through the finals and everything with the group in 02, and I knew like how hard it was. Like Gary Roberts beat the fuck out of me in the playoffs in 02 when I was a rookie. Man, like I tried to go to the gym in like July and I did like shoulder press, and it hurt so bad. I was like, nope, not today. And like just jumped on the bike and got a bike ride in. Like I was breathing up blood like on the bench. I was
You knew you were
spitting
missing-
up
you were-
blood like in the urinal in between periods. It was like, man, it was
And
you were in one.
In the year you got hurt on that run when you're dying to get back, you were having the best year of your career.
Yeah,
30
that was
goals in
the
60 games.
that was the tough part about it was like I'd made the Olympic team that year, and I got and the Olympics are they're an experience, but like Torino wasn't a great Olympic experience, and I'm from New York, so like Lake Placid, you know what I mean? Like I just think of other scenarios and cities, and fortunately though, like I got to play in that Olympics with like the old guard, like the guys, like you know what I mean?
Billy
Like
G,
Billy G,
Was Roenick on the team?
Kachuk.
no Roenick, Kachuk, Madonna was my line mate.
Holy fuck, that
Ralston, you know what I mean? Like we had like the old crew of guys that
The World Cup
I'm
winners.
just the World Cup like '96. You know what I mean? Like fuck, it was so cool. Dougie Waite, like and right before that, Dougie Waite, we had the same agent, Steve Bartlett. So I knew about the Doug Waite trade, him coming to Carolina before anyone else. Right? Like Steve calls me, and it's like, hey, I got a client that wants to call you and talk to you about the team and what it's like there and everything. I'm like, yeah, have at it. Like, who is it? And he's like, it's Doug Waite. I'm like,
You're like, we're getting him.
what?
And you got Recchi off our team, Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that was that. I don't know if that would have happened had I not gotten hurt.
Mm-hmm.
But like, thank God we did get him, because it wouldn't have happened without him.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, when you think about all of it,
these things come together.
it's crazy to
so,
think
so
about.
nuts
But
to
like,
think about it.
but so I had like such a cool experience with the old boys and Chelly, like literally like in the village. Like Mo was my roommate, and then we had Bobby Esch and Darian Hatcher. Brett Hedekin was in there with me, who was like a teammate in Carolina. And then I'm trying to think I think he had like Knuble as his like flatmate, and then Chelios had the single like in the village. Like that was our flat. And so like I'll never forget.
Was that when they went fucking ham? On
No,
the
that was
hotel room?
Nagano.
No. That was bad. No,
Japan.
no, that was a different time. But like one thing that I remember from that was, so Chris Chelios' buddy was that, like, was it DB Sweeney?
Oh, the actor?
Yeah. And he had like a movie that he was like pitching to like Hollywood and whatever, and Chelly made us watch it.
Worst movie I've ever seen.
I wouldn't say the worst.
Did you
movie
lie
I've
to
ever
Chelly?
seen.
Did you tell him that you enjoyed it?
No, I didn't lie to him. I
You're like, I don't know if
just
that's it.
didn't disrespect him. And Chelly had like a little cameo in it too, like
He's like, what do
very
you think?
small. But it was just like,
How
It
was
was just
Chelly's
funny.
acting? Be honest.
I mean, it was 5 seconds where I think like he was like wearing like a hearing aid in there, like in the scene, as in like he couldn't hear or whatever, and then he like started a barroom brawl.
We got to get a clip of this.
You know,
acting.
I don't
Did the
I
movie ever get made?
don't think so. I don't know. I
Straight
don't know
to-
if it ever
hey,
got picked up, but
hey,
like
straight to
but, like,
VHS.
well, I don't even know if that's where it got to, but like, Sweeney, like good guy, like super good guy, and big fan of the game. So it was, of course we're gonna watch it and see. But I remember that from like the Olympics, and then for me it was leaving the Olympics was like I couldn't get home fast enough. Mike Modano left ASAP. Like he got benched by Laviolette like in the quarterfinal game against Finland. Man, I remember going back to the flat. His bag was packed up and on the bed with all of his like Team USA gear. Like he just put it all back in the bag and fucking left it there. It was like, fuck y'all, I'm out of here.
No shit.
Like, oh man.
Why was it? Was just like the team didn't gel. It was
No,
just,
like I'll never forget like the disappointment of like the Olympics. Like it was disappointing for me. It really was. Like I hoped for a better experience, and I can remember being a little bit like not angry, but just like put off by like how like how USA Hockey handled it. Like so Eric Stahl, like he was my roommate. So like I roomed with Stalsey like in his first couple years, like when he came into the league, like they stuck him with me. And like hearing the stories about how like Team Canada ran like that crew over to the Olympics. Like everyone went to Toronto and then they got on like one or two charter planes, and then they had 5 buses there to like take everybody and drop them off at their places, and they just were super accommodating, right? Like for my experience, like I was in business class, my wife and kids and my sister-in-law were in coach, and we got in on the same flight. Of the 6 bags that my wife like checked, the only thing that came through was like the pack and play, because we had all of our hockey gear on there, and at the airport, she's there at baggage claim, and I'm having to go get on the team bus and say goodbye to her and leave her with, like my son Landon he was born in July. So he's 8 months old, 7 months old. You know what I mean? Like it was just,
it was just kind of
like, actually, no,
like...
he was older than that. He would have been almost 2, but it was just, the comparison of like how they ran things and took care of everybody. And then like, even on the, like leaving Torino, like having to like book our own flights and all this, like just nightmare trying to get back. Right. Like it was just,
you wanted to get back to Carolina.
I couldn't wait to get back to Carolina
and change citizenship.
Just because we had such a good thing going. Like it was like, man, this is great. Like I can't wait. And we came back. I had 2 home games where I played really well. Like going to Pittsburgh, scored 2 that night in Pitt, like 1 shorty in the first, and then a even strength goal in the second to hit 30 for the first time in my career. I'm playing the point on the power play. You know what I mean? Like, and I have that happen. Broken neck. You're lying on a gurney or strapped to this thing. Some nurse is trying to console you. The doctor's telling you you're lucky. You're like,
what do you
I feel lucky right now, right? Like it was just awful, awful experience. Like you like obviously like you recognize it like later on down the road where you're like, man, like how fortunate was I? But like in the moment it just sucks. And so that like through that whole playoff run and everything, just sucked not being a part of it. Like because I know how hard it is. I know what what it's like day in, day out, the grind of like the playoffs, because there's nothing like it. There's no other like comparable. Like obviously like regular season's tough and it's long, but that stretch where you're trying to win 4 series
every other day.
Yeah, man. Like it's like it's rest and then go. Rest, go. Like you just again every other day. Like it's nonstop. And that's what makes it so great, and that's what makes it so hard. And so I had such like gratitude for like the guys, and I'm so thankful. Like I never would be a Stanley Cup champion without those guys. And like through that whole process, like I literally like I wasn't sure like if I didn't play, like I wasn't sure if I was even going to touch the cup. Like I was having like those kind of thoughts because
I wasn't a part of it.
Well, it's just the and it's the mystique.
Am I
going to
get the playoff
right?
bonus? So like fucking spending Cabo.
I wasn't too worried about that. Like there wasn't like it was more like honestly, and playoff bonuses are nothing. You're playing for peanuts in comparison.
Yeah,
like,
playing for rent.
back then. Like, and it was like for me like that Game 5 moment. Like I'm sitting in the press box next to the rest of the Black Aces. I'm like, man, we're gonna fucking win the cup right now. Like we got a power play in overtime. Like here we go. Like we're gonna win it. And fucking turnover. Fernando Pisani, back of the net. Game over.
We're going to Edmonton.
And it was just craziness, right? Like, but I sit there and think about it, and I was like, man, we didn't like, how like teams will have like, their players that aren't in the lineup or the Black Aces, like they'll have them come down and put their gear on so they can go out. Like we didn't have any kind of plan like that. I'm literally up in the press box.
So you wouldn't have been
like watching. I probably wouldn't even like. I probably would have made my way down there. Like I 100% was not touching that fucking thing that night. You know what I mean? So for me, like Fernando Pisani, like scoring that goal and everything was great. So then 2 years later, it's 2008, and first day of July, I get traded to Edmonton. Well, fuck a duck, right? Like I've got to go like hang out with these guys that we've just like, it's going to be awkward. it ended up being okay, like, because great group of guys. We talked about, Horkoff, Hemsky, Chop, Pisani, Sheldon Surrey was there, Steos.
Holy fuck.
One of the
Couple
best.
Stallions.
Like
you were probably riding their coattails.
100%. Like, Steos was
Morrow
like,
and Surrey walking around together.
oh yeah, those two chummed up like a ton.
That's
But,
a
like,
tough looking
I think
crew.
they did that photo shoot too. The
Like
one where they had
Steos
their
and
tarps off.
Steos was like, I would pick up Steos to like drive to every game, every home game. Like, I picked him up and we rode together.
But
We
how often
somehow
do you get
talked
traded?
for 20 minutes and still haven't talked about like the celebration and like
I
fucking
don't
winning.
think he remembers. I don't think he remembers. You got too buckled.
What do you want to know?
No, I
just
wanna
like
know-
this, like how awesome it was.
The
because I know maybe your
okay.
experience doesn't seem like it was
No.
all that
Okay,
great.
so the night you win, like the best moment doesn't it? I mean, it doesn't happen right away. Like, it's obviously when you get to grab the cup and throw it over your head, it's something. But there was so much chaos on the ice that night, and you're trying to make sure you're including family and your kids and whatever, and experience it all like with your friends. It's not until you get in the locker room. We had chaos in the locker room, right? Like, just jammed. And then when they kicked everybody out of the room and told them to go upstairs to like the Champions Club and wait for us to, get cleaned up and whatnot. And that amount of time that we had like in the locker room was just the guys.
Last time.
And the speech, like Glenn Wesley gave a great speech like at the end of it, and talking about every time he looks at the photo, look into every one of your eyes and remember what we went through, and like it just that was the moment where you get to like just relax, and it's just you guys and the cup, and you just enjoy it, and everyone's getting showered up. We shaved in mustaches because why wouldn't you after you win the cup? Like, yeah, you want all your first pictures to be with a muzzy.
Yeah.
We stayed at the arena that night. I think I got in like what nowadays would be called an Uber at like 5:30 in the morning to go home and catch like an hour or two of sleep before I had to take my parents to the airport, get up with the kids, that kind of thing. And then that next day, the guys all got crushed at Roddy's pool with the cup, and we had like a parade like around the arena, which was
that was a ghetto
hot as
parade.
balls.
Was it a
like
bad
back
parade?
Of, back
Well,
of
it's
the truck.
around the arena.
It was around the
Oh,
arena.
what?
And it was the longest parade you've ever like experienced. Like, I mean, like, but like, to our fans' credit,
never
like
experienced
the
one.
thing was fucking jammed. Like, it was jammed. So we had that whole thing. And then the next day was, that night we were out at Carolina Ale House, like just breaking plates. Like, my buddy's the restaurant owner. He's Greek, so he's just everything was opa and throwing plates into the corner like the entire night. But we got some great stories and great photos of that one. And the third night was dinner at Sullivan's, team dinner. That was when we had like the parade downtown, and then we had like a nice, sit down meal at Sullivan's Steakhouse, and Cup was with us, and it turned into across the street, Glenwood South. I don't know if have you guys ever been on Glenwood South?
I've never been like
Yeah.
out in Raleigh.
Yeah, no, never. So
Raleigh would.
yeah, somewhere like there's this place called the Hibernian, and it was like just a block down from that. Like that's where we went with the cup that night, and it was a long night. I can remember laying on Glenwood Avenue at like 5:30, 6 in the morning, waiting for like our like driver to come pick us up. We're like basically sleeping with our head on the curb, like waiting to go. It was like yeah.
Shit show.
Just, I mean, it's just long, man. Stanley doesn't have a curfew, and he does now. They've changed the rules, but like back in the day, like Stanley, like, oh man, you got to stay away from Stanley. Stanley doesn't have a curfew, and if you just hang with him all night, you're in trouble. Like, you gotta learn to like,
Done.
Hey, like, yeah, Stanley's staying up late, I'm gonna go to bed. And it was, but it was great, like, and we celebrated like the whole summer, obviously, like, guys, different cup parties and all that stuff, and the cup came back to Raleigh and we always used to do the the V Foundation like golf outing, which was a huge deal with the ESPN guys coming in, and just a great, event that we used to have here in Raleigh to support that event, and we had the cup here for that, and so that was another night out and then some.
We have so much more to talk about, but you're so long-winded.
You are fucking worst. You're the most long-winded.
We didn't go to Dallas. We didn't go to Detroit. We didn't go to Montreal. But
it's going to be a fucking.
We'll get this guy back on.
Star Wars trilogy.
This is how I make sure that we have another Sandbagger. Is that I just leave. I leave shit out there.
We'll do a rematch. That's all we can say. We
I
can't
gotta be honest with you.
Like,
I said something to Willie about it yesterday. I was like, motherfucker. Like, I'm like, I want a fucking rematch. He's like, it won't happen. He's like, they won't do it. I'm like, we're fucking doing it.
Oh, yeah, we'll do it.
We're doing it.
Colsey, we can't thank you enough. Amazing career. You've been through so much. There's way more to it, but you talk a lot. But we appreciate you coming on and joining us yesterday for the golf. It was a blast.
No, I honestly, like, obviously a fan of watching you guys and everything. Love what you guys are doing.
You watch Spittin Chiclets?
100%.
Fucking rights, buddy.
I chirp Army all the time. The technician. I give him crap.
He's our new co-host.
Yeah, when he comes on,
he's actually the host of Chiclets, etc.
I'm all over him. One of the best all time. But no, great time yesterday. Look forward to more.
Fucking A. Harry Knuckles.
Yep.
Great job. Thanks, Colsey.
Thanks again to Erik Cole for jumping on. You guys, he seems like quite the character between the interview and the Sandbagger, man. He seems like a funny guy, but we got to talk about the Sandbagger. Sandbagger 15. You guys are 11-4. Take us through this one, man. That was pretty intense. 6 in a row,
baby.
Was that not one of? We said it that night. That golf match was out of this world. Justin Williams, as I think we didn't even play it up enough. That's a stick. That guy's a stick. He hits it pure. He putts it great. I didn't even realize till I watched it through right the day before it came out or whatever that they had about 4 putts, dude, that were dead center of the cup and lipped out. Like, we had no business rewatching that. I think after 5, I'm like, dude, we should be 5 down. So it was just so sick to see how clutch you were again, bro. You're just an absolute dog in these things. I swear to God, it's like 11 holes, you suck. 3 holes, you're like, okay. And then 4 holes, you just crush it. Like, there's nothing they can do.
Dark 30, baby.
0 dark 30, bitches. And listen, so many people. All right. So like we get comments where I'm 50-50 on getting comments from people that they like the lifelines and the pullback and the one club. And then the other 50% hate it. So I'm like,
this one was crazy because both you and Williams on the same hole on the make them redo shot sunk your redos. That's fucking crazy. So right then and there, that's why we're doing them. It creates those types of moments.
Yeah, I agree. It's funny. It just we're goons playing golf. Like, you're wearing a Danbury Trashers jersey, a beautiful McGregor Downs. But some like it, some hate it, which I think's great. But I can't tell you how much feedback of you didn't tell them that they could have called back Biz's shot, or you didn't remind them. Excuse me, buddy. I've copy and pasted 50 responses to people. I'll read it to you what I write back. Did I send you this?
In the DMs, you DM this back to them?
Yeah. This is what I texted Keith. I said, people are DMing you're scum for not telling them they forgot to call back Biz's putt. I've copy and pasted this response to many. By your message, I know you're not competitive and a born loser. We play to win. Now, you think that I'm going to tell a team the rules prior to a match, and then when they don't use it to their advantage, remind them? Like, what are we talking about here? We're trying to win. And in the video, I say to Biz, I'm like, Biz, I'm pretty sure they forgot, because what they should have done, what everyone's saying is they should have made Biz putt that again on the 16th hole. No, they should have made you hit the 5-iron that you stuck to 30 feet from 200 yards.
Or the leg putt to the hole. So I ended
or
up
the driver hole.
Or where I went fucking. That was probably one of the most iconic moments in Sandbagger history. People were probably thinking it was the dumbest play in golf history to pull a driver out on a 1-club hole. And buddy, that chip I had from the side of the green, I don't know how it ended up that close to the hole. I gunned it.
You absolutely gunned it. And then Coles's shot got overshadowed by you. He hit a great one from over there too. What's funny is I think before the hole teed off, I said I think 8 might win it, or maybe I said I think 7 will win, because it was kind of a longer par 5 weird hole, and everyone had par putts, and you had 5 feet for birdie, so it was actually played decently. But yeah, not telling them, it's like, fuck, figure out the rules. And for me, it was fair because we had never made Cole redo a shot. And Willie and I had already done our redo. So it was totally fair. Colesy and you never had to redo one. They forgot. And we on purpose didn't make Cole do anything because we knew they forgot about yours, and that would have reminded them. But Cole, we wouldn't have had to make him do anything. He didn't have one clutch shot. I love Colesy, though, by the way. His chirps throughout that. I mean, he starts off quick with talking about the pineapple hind, and he goes, "Oh, she'll thank you later for that one." And then at one point we make Williams re-putt, and he buries it, and he goes, "These guys are morons."
Overall, a great Sandbagger. Actually, one of the videographers in the midst of it was a guy who works with Mr. Beast. So that was pretty cool to meet him and hear a little bit. Yeah, the biggest guy on YouTube right now. So it was pretty cool to meet them. They did an excellent job. People are raving about the production value and how it continues to increase. So we got to thank all the guys. Pasha, who does most of the editing. Shauna Puzo, who's been with us for probably around 2, maybe a little over 2 years. He helped out with those ECHL videos that we did. He does a bunch of editing behind the scenes and videographer work. Elliot Fish, who edits a bunch of our stuff, including the podcast, and he cuts trailers as well. So, or the vlogs, excuse me. Logan, I don't know his last name, G, if you want to step in. So I just like snapping around the thank yous because these are a big production.
Yeah, I just know him as Logan. He's our guy, Logan.
Okay,
he does the tracing shots. He's our guy.
Okay, Logan. Sorry, but we'll get to his last name on the next one. And then, but overall, the response has been great, guys. People are saying the best Sandbagger we've ever done as far as competition, humor, and everything being bouncing around. Thank you to Williams for getting us on the course and for allowing me to play in a Danbury's Trashers jersey and sweatpants. And if you want to check that out, go over and subscribe to our Spittin Chiclets YouTube channel. Over 250,000 people are already subscribed to that. You can check out all our behind the scenes vlogs. You can watch the podcast instead of listening to it if you want, and plenty of more content that we upload all the time on there. So thank you to everybody involved. And 6 in a row, Sandbagger,
so
15.
People are talking now. It's 11-4. We have one coming up. We'll be doing one in Florida around the All-Star game in Fort Lauderdale. And then we'll be doing one out at the Super Bowl where we're going to be out in Scottsdale. I believe out there it's going to be a dozen live show. And guys, our dozens have been electric. Holy, we've produced some big time matches and getting 2 wins in a row there. So everything's kind of coming up Chiclets right now. You know, besides the elf on the shelf, it's like I'm buzzing around. We're all crushing it. So I can't wait. So we'll have 2 more. I mean, imagine get to 13-4. People are scared.
You know who I want? And I'll even bump my handicap down. Charlie and Tiger Woods. They're getting all the screen time right now in the golf world. How about the fucking Sandbaggers?
I don't want that smoke.
Golf Channel must have the blinders on. You don't think we could beat those guys? Come on. Imagine pretending that much.
I'd probably need 4 and 4. And you would need like 26 shots. So, 8 holes, you'd get 2 shots a hole. Maybe we'd have a chance. But Biz, the other thing before we move on is like people calling out your handicap have no clue what they're talking about. Okay.
Did they not watch the front 9? Did they not watch the front 9?
Exactly. I play to a 1. Biz gets 14 shots, or sometimes I'll play to a 0. He actually every single time shoots right around 90. Like, so that's 18 over par. He's getting 14 shots. He got 16 this one because I was getting 2 from Williams because he's a +2 or +1, whatever. So every time that you chirp and say Biz is getting too many shots, he's not. He only plays golf. He's played golf 15 times in 4 years. It's the 15 Sandbaggers. He doesn't touch a club other than that. And half of the holes he makes an X.
I do have a membership at VGC, Victoria Golf Club out in BC. But I'm on a out-of-town membership. So when I was there this past summer, I played 3 rounds. I don't go to the driving range either. So every 12 months, I would say I might play 10 rounds. No practice. So stop fucking telling me I'm a 10 or a 12. but I will this one because Williams was so good. I bumped up to a 16. I'm normally a 14 where I'm not getting any shots on the par threes. So I'm a 14 handicap. Stop calling me a fucking sandbagger. We're the fucking champs. Whoever wants a piece of the pie, come at me and come at us. Sandbagger 16. See you soon, bitches.
Congrats on another victory, boys. And just to piggyback on your nice response talk, thanks to everybody who responded to our Peter Forsberg interview last week. The tremendous feedback we got. Again, it was one of those pinch yourself moments sitting down with him on a Sunday morning and having a chat with one of the all-time great players, great Hall of Famer, and a funny guy too. So again, thanks to everybody who chimed in. We appreciate it, and we're glad you liked it. This Saturday, Biz, is going to be New Year's Eve. Obviously, fucking Winter Classic coming up. But are you a resolution guy? What's your stance on that? Do you actually make them? Do you follow through on them?
Yeah, no, I tend to usually make one. This year, a little bit. I want to get in better shape, and I did a good job.
No one
of
ever
that.
has
So
that one. It's not common.
I'm not saying it's original, but I've done a good job in 2022 of going to see my trainer, being more consistent with it, watching what I eat. Secondly, do a lot more like self-help stuff, like just figuring out direction and using my spare time wisely, doing more reading. And the other big one was this, wait for it, beat the nose face killer in a Chiclets Cup. That is numero uno, and that kind of goes hand in hand with getting in shape and being dedicated to my craft. I don't know where you are right now, Corey. I'm sure you're listening, you jock sniffer. I'm going to fucking bend you over. No spit, no lube, sandpaper finish. We haven't picked the location of the next Chiclets Cup, but we have a few places selected right now. We're checking out the venues. Whenever that is, you motherfucker, I'm going to rub your fucking nose and shit. And I'm bringing home that championship. Enough with the nose face killer. It's time for the big deal selects to lift the championship trophy.
Gee, what about you? Do you do the resolution thing? Stick by it?
I do. I do. I think this year more than I ever have. I think my New Year's resolution this year is to take more time for myself and learn to enjoy life a little bit more.
Nice.
I think I spend way too much time like doing stuff for other people, for work, for my friends, that it's negatively affecting my mental health and my physical health, most importantly. So hopefully in 2023 can start going to the gym more, can start eating healthier, because I feel like those are the things that if I take the time and do that, the mental health stuff will start to come. I want to travel more. So essentially, long story short, just taking more time, more Granelli time. I need more Granelli time for myself.
Setting boundaries, as they say.
Setting boundaries is I need to set some boundaries. And to find a fucking Chiclets Cup location. I need to find a Chiclets Cup location for the next one.
There you go.
All right, what's yours?
I'm really not much in the resolution game. I'm just like, I don't know. It's weird to be beholden to a calendar. Like, we're flipping a calendar. It's a new month. I got to start. I don't really do. But if I were to make a resolution, I would, like what Biz said, I wish I could read more. Like, I used to be a voracious reader. I could bang out a book in 2-3 nights, and combination of getting old, the internet, and being a stoner hasn't fucking helped me getting fucking all these books behind me read, because my wife always picks on me. She's like, what do you have read, like 3 of them? But it's like, hey, it just means there's like a Japanese term for a shelf of books you haven't read. It's actually a positive thing, because it's indicative that you do want to learn and you're willing to learn. So ideally I'd bang out some of these books this year, but yeah, I don't really do the resolution thing too much. What about you?
What do you got?
I kind of couldn't agree more with RA, where I'm trying. It's hard for me to say, yeah, all right, you got, now it's switching up. Now I know it's normal to think, all right, new year, new me, Granelli time, but I'm more looking at it lately. I think I've been doing a pretty good job in life of taking things day by day, and I've noticed being so much more present, especially as a dad, is so nice. And still definitely a work in progress, and I'd love to put the phone down a little bit. I think I average like 3.5, 4 hours a day looking at my screen. Some weeks, dude, it's like,
that's it.
Yeah. Well, I know. I mean, obviously there's bigger than that, but it's still, it's just like, it's such a habit that I can't stand. But basically what I've said, being present, and when I'm, wrestling with the kids or playing, knee hockey, it's like you're just doing what you're doing at the moment, right? If you're driving with my wife in the car, you're not thinking about everything else. You're just kind of having a conversation. And like I said, it's hard as shit sometimes to do, but reminding myself of doing that, excuse me, has definitely been a positive change in my life, I'd say.
Would you ever try meditation?
I've done meditation. I actually go in and out of it. I get pretty good where I'll do like 15 days in a row and then I don't, which people who truly meditate, that's kind of pathetic. I think they would think like, oh, you do it sometimes. I guess I notice I do it and then I feel really good and then I kind of stop doing it. So yeah, I that's something I got to make more time for. But I mean, it's funny. Like I don't work a regular 9-to-5 job, but I stay really busy. I mean, it's just like having young kids. You're chasing around. You're doing stuff with them. All of a sudden, the days are over, and so I wish I did do that more often. But the other thing that's really helped me, and I this is something that's got to improve too, is getting the calendar. I think me, you, and G talked maybe a couple months ago, and we actually like planned out when all of our trips will be kind of 6 months in advance, because I find myself, if I know what's going on, if I can look 3 weeks, I have that in 3 weeks, I can prepare for things better. I can look forward to things. I can understand when I got to like get stuff done because in a month that's happening. So just being more organized overall. Now, mind you, if you look at my office right now, there's 4 pictures of like my family I haven't hung up. There's a thing of cards I haven't signed from Upper Deck. There's a painting I haven't put up. There's 4 books because I haven't bought a bookshelf. So, it's an absolute gong show in here, but at least I'm living moment by moment, boys. I'm not even stressed about the mess in my office. Too blessed to be stressed.
Wagwan,
man.
Wagwan. Yeah.
I'm also
not only so the meditation and the Wim Hof breathing. I've tried that before too, and I do enjoy that.
So the basement's going to be done in the next month. I told you about what I have down there, right?
Infrared sauna, cold tub, baby.
Yeah. So I'm going to be very, very excited once everything's done to all of a sudden every day, cold tub in the morning, at night, you go back and forth, 5 minutes sauna, 5 minutes cold tub. That is the best thing I've ever done. I've never felt better than when I'm doing cold tub therapy. I don't even know the exact word for it. It just, my body feels like shit when I got a ton of inflammation, and it's gone once I take those cold tubs. It's a shitty 4 or 5 minutes, but when I'm able to just hop down there and do it, I'm going to be pretty fired up.
How small is
the mind, body, and soul?
How small is your horn when you come out of that thing? It's like a button on a fur coat.
How about the horn pick? We didn't talk about on my fake horn pick. Because that's funny you mentioned I'm packing an angry 3 inches like hard as a rock. So I mean I'm getting out of the cold tub. It's just a little nub. If I had a bush, it's only bush hair. You can't even see the poor thing. So that picture that was snapped of, I don't even think those are really tight pants I have on. They're actually KJUS, KJUS. No free ads, but this stuff's sick. And apparently they're tight enough that with a Titleist golf ball in there, it looks like I have a 9-inch peppermill for a hog. And the picture went not viral, but all of a sudden it was getting a bunch of, I said,
not a bad rumor.
I go, that's not a bad picture to have. Grunelli said he'd kill a small cat to have a picture like that on the internet.
100%.
He's going to be leaking. He's going to be hiring paparazzi outside of his apartment in NYC to snap photos. He's going to have fucking an actual salt pepper in his fucking pocket.
I need it. I need something right now, boys.
The wit hog. Gee, you're the youngest guy of the crew. Do you still do New Year's Eve parties, or you fucking tap out of that shit just because the fucking amateur
So I've
night?
been lucky, and I've actually said this for the past couple of years to all my buddies, is I never have to plan a New Year's party because we're always on the road for the Winter Classic. So I'm always hanging out with you guys for the Winter Classic. So this year it's nice, get to go back to Boston. I'm not going to go out clubbing or anything. I'm just going to have a nice dinner with my friends, I think. But yeah, I'm kind of over that scene, to be honest with you, RA.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time I partied.
Yeah, it's an overrated holiday. I think every year when we talk about this, I mention if you're you and your significant other are talking about finding a good wedding date, there's no better day to get married than New Year's Eve, because for me, everyone's looking to do something. Nobody really has plans. And then a wedding ends up being just an awesome event that everyone looks forward to going to. Because it's the one night, you're not ruining anyone's plans because nobody has any. So
great idea.
One of the best wedding nights of the years is New Year's Eve. I've always said that. I want to go to the Bruins game that day. They have the Sabres at 1:00. I'd love to go to that. and then I'm gonna head home. And I told you guys are welcome to come over. I know you guys get stuff going on. Hopefully Merle's will come over and maybe a couple buddies and watch the bowl games and just hang out. I don't even know if I'll still be up at midnight. We got that live show the next day. And it's funny, we're wrapping this thing up here, but the next time we talk to you guys, it's going to be post-live show because we're going to drop on Wednesday that week instead of Tuesday because we have the show on Monday night. So the next day we'll record. We'll go over all the week's events. We'll have so much to chat about after everyone's here in Boston for 4 or 5 days. So it's an exciting time. As we say at this time of year, count your blessings and thank you guys for listening. I don't know if you had anything else. All right.
We'll see you at Game On.
Yeah.
Game on.
That sounds like a deal. We can wrap it there. All right, everybody.
I had one more and I'm looking for it. So I found this interesting and you can't see me on the screen right now because I'm reading it off.
No, we can see
we can see
you can? Oh, okay. Trung Fan, he tweeted this one out. Over 3.5 billion Ferrero Rochers are sold every year. And 60% of these sales take place in the fourth quarter. And then the guy who owns the Ferrero Rocher, it was invented by Michel Ferrero.
What are Ferrero Rocher, Biz?
Yeah, what the fuck is that for the audience?
What is being sold?
Oh, you guys don't know it? Everybody listening knows what a Ferrero Rocher chocolate
Besides two of the hosts.
I don't know either.
Besides all three of the hosts. Yeah, everyone else knows.
You don't know what a Ferrero Rocher is? The chocolates that have Nutella in them that have the what's the nut that's in the middle and it's wrapped in gold. It's wrapped in gold and it's a ball.
Oh, I've seen the balls. Are they red and gold?
Those are
different color balls.
Those are Lindettes.
No, they're not. They're Ferrero Rochers. They're the most famous fucking Christmas chocolate on the planet. There's 3.5 billion of them sold a year. 60% of them in the fourth quarter because of the holidays.
How do you spell it? I want to see if I've ever seen it before.
I've seen these before, Biz, but I gotta be honest. I think you're over hyping up the shit out of these Ferrari Rochers.
Out of your fucking mind. Put a Twitter poll up about how many people know what Ferrero Rochers are, and I bet you it's 80% of people who read that know what they are. And
Biz, I think you might have us here. I think we might be in the wrong, but I see these things fucking everywhere. I just didn't know their names.
No,
but I think
that's
you're
what I'm
gonna
saying.
have
I
us.
see them everywhere, but in terms of the name, I think a million people are gonna be like us, like once they see the picture. Oh, I know those. I didn't know they were called whatever Ferraro Rochers. You know, there's a YouTube. I YouTubed them. It says how to pronounce the two words. This is not like a known thing. I don't think the name of these motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, the kid who took over the company, the father was the creator. He's the richest guy in all of Italy. So very interesting fun fact about how a Christmas chocolate is making some guy billions and billions of dollars. Also, the creator of the Tic Tac. So Trung Fan, always some good nuggets online.
Trung Fan, guys. I think that's a 2-time a year guest. The people love Trung Fan.
Yeah.
People were down with Trung Fan. We need him back for some business stuff.
Biz, I didn't know you were going to bring him up because we were going to bury this, but he tweeted out a thread the other day about the craziest stunts that Tom Cruise has ever done, because Tom Cruise dropped a thank you video the other day for the how much support that Top Gun Maverick got. By the way, I watched it for like the 8th time the other day. He's like, thanks for the support. He jumped out of the fucking plane, like in the video, like, see you later. And he skydived off a fucking plane. And then he released another video the next day for the next Mission Impossible. He goes on a motorcycle off a fucking cliff, like thousands feet high, and base jumps. And he had to do the take like 5 fucking times. That guy, the ballsiest movie star in history, man. Like, I know Buster Keaton and Chaplin, those guys would risk their life way back in the day, but the stuff this guy does for entertainment, man, you can't discount how big of a star he is. And I mean, there's no one bigger, man. Like, look at the thread. I'll retweet it, dude. The stuff he did, I didn't even know about some of them.
He's definitely tapped.
Yeah, he's a big star. But anyways, yeah, check that thread out. One quick recommendation if you're looking for a movie. I don't know if you saw it with Banshees of Inisherin. It's on HBO Max.
The trailer looks so weird.
It's definitely a unique movie. But did you see In Bruges with Colin Farrell and Brendan Gleeson?
No, I saw Ferraro Rocher.
Oh, tremendous film directed and written by Martin McDonough. And he got the whole crew together. This movie, they filmed it on an island off the coast of Ireland. Great fucking movie. I've watched it a couple times already. Highly recommend it. And yeah, that's a recommendation if you're looking for a movie to kill to get away from the relatives the next few days.
Who's the Donnie guy again? The trainer?
Donnie Del Negro, baby. Jury high.
Donnie Del Negro eating Ferrero Rochers during the holidays. Keep the change, you filthy animals. And enjoy a happy new year.
Peace.
Adios.